Welcome back to Exactly What I'm Saying. Today, I get to talk to a blacksmith, a small business owner, and most importantly, an artist. He likes to put his pride in creating functional, usable art, such as chef knives, foldies, and so much more. I'd like to introduce you all to my friend with Drek Metal, Dillon.
Sure.
Into this other... You can do that.
I like this. This makes me feel like I'm at home, like, working on music.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. What'd you say? Sorry, babe.
I'm doing beats.
I was dropping a beat. I didn't catch that.
Fucking beat interrupter.
Dude, that is hilarious. Yeah, you look cool.
Do I?
Yeah.
See, that's what it's about.
Yeah, you look super cool. And you sound great.
Here, we'll add a little. There, bib. I can catch just enough. I catch just enough through that for it not to actually hurt my ego. If I'd had the headphones on, killed.
Yeah. Good.
You would have killed me.
Perfect. That's what I was going for. I was going for slightly injured, but not a kill shot.
You got to keep people down, dude.
Yeah.
I just said that the other day, right before you asked me to do this. I was like thinking about talking to people and how if people are too happy, like if they got they're a little too bright-eyed.
Yes.
It like I just can't like take anything that you're saying seriously. It's like I need a little bit of that dead behind the eyes so I can like take you seriously. Maybe I have a problem.
I can relate with that though, as a person who's often super happy, and I think people feel the way that you just described about me. I feel like I know that I feel that way about other people sometimes. I'm like, God, why do they talk so much? Or, man, they were so loud. And Elizabeth and all of like my closest friends are like, have you ever been in a room with yourself?
Yeah.
Like, are you mad because they were louder than you?
Sure.
Because
there's a difference between like effervescence, which I would describe you as being effervescent.
Thank you.
There's a difference between that and like reckless optimism.
Yeah.
Like relentless optimism. That's like scary to me.
Yeah.
You know? I felt this way for a long time. People who are like, we've all been around like one person at least in our lives who is incredibly fucking just joyous all the time. And I think that there's something just as wrong with them as there is with someone who can't get out of bed for like 3 days at a time because of depression. Like, I think it's the same thing, just the opposite side of it.
Different coping mechanisms. Yeah. 100%.
Something's wrong with these people. They make me deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah, what are you hiding? I feel the same way about somebody who uses a really strong... We just found one of the uses.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Shoot, what was I saying? I feel the same way about people who wear really, really strong cologne.
Oh yeah.
And like perfume, and I'm like, how bad do you stink?
Oh, that.
Like, what are you hiding?
That makes me wonder if someone is like 20 years ago they read something that there's like a aluminum and deodorant, and that it causes like some sort of problem, so they just like avoid deodorant, but instead they spray on like a totally different harmful chemical on their body, you know?
Yeah, and they're like smoking a cigarette. And no, it's, you know, we're all hiding something, but whenever you're hiding it too much, whenever you're overpowering everybody else around you to hide it that hard, then I'm like, well, hold up. You make these metal you make a lot of different stuff, and we'll definitely get into that, but you have been into making random metal spoons, and you told me that people were like, well, what are you even supposed to use it for? And you're like, I don't know. And I just saw one of the many uses bottle opener, baby.
Leverage. You can leverage anything, but
You can leverage
You can
anything.
especially leverage an
Hunk
iron
of metal.
spoon.
Yes, an iron spoon
Yeah.
with a flat edge.
Yeah.
That's better than a lighter. Next bar I'm behind, I'm like really debating having this in my back pocket
I
to
used
whip
to-
out.
It's to make them with hooks on them, because I used to bartend.
Yeah.
So I would make bar spoons for cherries mostly to get like fancy.
That's
put it in
awesome.
Manhattans, and I'd put a little loop on the end of it so I could carry it around.
Dude.
But the first time you swing around and you smash like a $10, or a drink that's already made or something, just
glass, anything. Yeah.
you
It
start
could be
to feel-
dirty glass.
You're like, oh, okay, well, that novelty wore off pretty quickly. But if you just have it around like on a hook, great.
Dude, it would. Have you ever like thought about making like custom bar tool kits?
I've done it, but most of the stuff I make is carbon steel.
So
or
it's
like,
heavy.
It's heavy, but it's not stainless. So like if people, bartending, everything's wet all the
Wet,
time. So
yeah.
like if you don't clean that shit off,
It rusts.
it probably rusts. Which honestly, it's not a big deal. It's just like a cast iron skillet. You just dry it off and it's fine. But when you're trying to explain this to like someone who actually works with this stuff for an 8-hour shift, it's like I don't want to deal with that.
And
I
everything is
totally-
getting wet. Yeah.
I totally understand that. I could forge stuff out of stainless steel, but then it's like twice as hard to forge and it's more expensive. And really, my interests lie in making like knives, fancy knives and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I honestly started making spoons because, excuse me, I do these craft shows
Yeah.
and like I have several $1,000 or plus knives on the table, and I needed something that people could just walk up and buy.
$40.
Yeah, because like
$50.
that shit pays for your like traveling expenses.
No,
So-
totally. I haven't done it yet, but I've thought about trying to do something with like stained glass.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like I want to have, and even if I want to charge more for the small, like I'll have like bigger expensive stuff, but then I want to like load it out with like these little cactuses.
Did you make this?
I did.
This is extremely cool. You had one downstairs.
Thank you.
I picked it up. I don't know if you heard me. That's very cool.
I did. I was stoked that you saw that.
It's extremely cool.
Thank you, man.
like that.
If you ever want to work out a trade,
Definitely.
yeah, and I would make you a way cooler one for a trade.
Yeah, I love
too,
that.
because
Also, like, we had tons of plants around our house, and those would be cool anywhere, but they would be cool in plants, like in the pot with the plant.
So I have, I've got like a million. I'm sure you can probably relate to some extent. I've got like a million half-started projects.
Oh yeah.
But I have some stuff that I've created with the intent for plant decoration, or like pot, like stick it in your soil decoration. I just need to get some good wire
Oh yeah.
for
Cool.
it. But like I said, half finished projects everywhere.
Yep. That's a great idea though.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like, I'm not crushed for time, but I'm also not like pursuing, like I'm not actively looking for the wire. I'm sure if I did, I could find it, but it's just more if I see it out and about, then I'm like, oh, this is perfect for what I've been looking for.
What I've noticed, stuff like this, there's always some way, because like if you buy something that's advertised as like the wire you need for this project, it's like 5 times as much as the exact same thing that exists in a different form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I guarantee you there's something out there that's like attached to a piece of wood or something that you could buy for way less.
100%.
That exists. It just depends on like what it is.
Yeah.
You've got to be there at the right time to be like Michael's and be like, oh, those are 5 cents a piece. I just have to pop the wood part off or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
I do. So I have this continuous blood glucose monitor. This is a little bit different, but I got this thing, and the piece that you use to install it has this tiny little magnet inside of it, and I've been popping that magnet out every time I install a new one. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it, but I'm starting to get a decent little collection of these like little tiny magnets. I'm like, what am I going to do with those?
Dude, I love magnets. I use the shit out of magnets constantly in my shop. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I have them on the side of my press lined up in like a 2-foot to put tooling on.
Oh yeah.
I slap
Genius.
tooling on
Boom.
so I don't have to like go around the shop and look for.
Yeah.
I used to make these little like cutting board, not cutting board. You hang if you want to hang your knives or whatever, and you put them up on the wall.
Yeah.
I used to make those.
Knife magnet?
Yeah. for
I've got one in
kitchen.
my kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love them.
They're awesome. Dude, where are you from?
I grew up in the Ozarks, if you know where that is.
Oh, I do. Missouri.
Yeah, well, northern Arkansas, southern Missouri.
Yep,
I was
northern
born,
Arkansas.
I was born in northern Arkansas, but spent most of my life, all my family's from Arkansas, but most of my life in southern Missouri.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Till age 30, and then Elise and I, my partner, moved out here. We've been here about 10 years now.
What brought you here?
She got a job. She's an archaeologist, and she
Amazing.
it is very cool. She was working like what they call like shovel bum, where you're not a full-time employee. You just go out on these jobs and work like as a contracted
Yeah,
employee.
you're like a contractor.
She'd be gone for like 6 weeks, come home for 2 weeks, gone for 6 weeks, and that shit gets old.
Was she doing it as an independent, or was she working for like a contracting company?
A company.
Yeah.
To do it independently, you'd have to like
Really.
Those are like
really.
PhD academic people who get grants from whoever gives them the money.
And even still, yeah, you would
you
not
got a whole
only
team and
need because you need still insurance and all that stuff that
Tons
your
of
employer and tons of money.
Yeah.
To front everything. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so she was working a lot out of town. And
that's awesome.
It was cool, but it was like we owned a house together and stuff, and it was like, and I bartended, and it just got to a point where I was like, this has to we have to figure out a way to. You can't be gone 6 weeks at a time. Like, and if you gotta get a permanent job, and if that means us moving, then okay, then
sure.
So like within a month of that,
this gave a permanent job moving to Louisville.
Yep. Yeah, within like a month of us having that conversation, she got offered a job here in Louisville. So
amazing.
We moved like almost immediately after that. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and we'd already been out here once. Her coworkers that she worked with live out here, and we went to a wedding, and we took like a week and a half to spend out here, and we went to a derby, and went to Red River Gorge.
Oh yeah.
And like just kind of farted around.
Yeah.
And so we already knew like, oh, this place is pretty cool. It's actually fairly similar to the Ozarks, which we still love.
Oh, I'm sure. She still have family there.
All of our family.
Yeah.
Her whole entire family lives in Missouri, southern Missouri. My entire family lives in central northern Arkansas.
And you've been here now for 10 years,
About 10
you
years.
said. So how long have you been making knives?
I started that year, actually, the year we moved.
Cool.
Because that was actually the whole reason I'm doing it is I just did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's like everything. And then when we moved out here, I was like, man, I really don't want a regular job again. Because I never finished college, so my only qualifications were bartending and that type of shit. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I just didn't do that anymore?
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably shouldn't have done that. The first few years were absurdly hard to make any money, but I've slowly figured it out, and I've had to integrate all these craft shows and stuff, and with custom orders and knocking on people's doors and businesses and stuff. But I've figured it out over the last 10 years to make it into somewhat of a viable, self-employed situation.
So you've been making knives for about 10 years.
About 10 years, yeah.
And then, so what originally got you interested in doing that?
The full version that I don't usually tell people because I'm not on a podcast.
Sure.
When I was 26, my dad died, and I wanted to do something that I thought he would think was cool. You know, just as like a grieving process.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, I just really want to do something that he would think was badass.
Like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I took a class, and I didn't get much out of it because it was one of those classes where they're more interested in you leaving with like this nice object that you can show other people, and then they'll want to take the class.
Yes.
So it kind of bummed me out on it. And then my whole life, like from 14 to 30, was about playing music in bands and shit. That's like all I ever cared about. And so around the age of 30, guys stop, they start having kids. They start getting real jobs. Guys just stop coming to practice and all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I need something creative that doesn't require 3 other dudes showing up or not. And like, I've never been much of a songwriter. I was always like a utility guy. I can do anything. I love playing music in bands, but I'm not like the main guy.
Yeah, you're trying to back up.
Yeah, I play bass and drums. Like,
yeah,
I just want to be there.
Totally.
Yeah. So, but then I was like, oh, I should try to do the knife thing again. And I was horrible at it, and it really irritated me. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep going until I get like a good one. And then, before you know it, you've got like all this equipment and all this time that you've dedicated. And then we moved, and then I was like, I'll just do this, you know, like I'll try to make this work, you know.
Yeah, being in a new city, it's like you're not seeing Mrs. Johnson down the street who saw your super shitty knives that you were trying to trying to push on her.
There's no
you're
pity buying.
You're just starting off with new people and good knives.
That's funny. Yeah, I had a lot of pity buying in the beginning. Like, sure, yeah.
Dude, I mean, it helps.
Oh, dude.
I guess. They also weren't $1,500 knives.
Right. Yeah, and it would have been absurd for me to, you know, there's a reason they're $1,500 now, and it's not because I'm brand new at it.
They're gorgeous.
Thanks. Put a lot, for anybody wondering, like, I mean, I spent like a week maybe on like a single knife. So.
That was going to be one of my questions later.
Yeah.
The amount of time that you spend. So you had already kind of started, you had already dabbled before you moved here.
Yeah.
And then when you moved here, you were just like, all right, I don't want to bartend anymore or forever, at least try to get out. And then you were like, I'm going to start trying to hustle and sell my work. And you said it was hard in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, beyond hard, it's like, I mean, I kind of gave myself a timeline of like, okay, if I just don't spend money and like, you know, try not to spend too much of Elise's money, my partner.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I definitely know what you mean.
But she's also like, she has to be given tons of credit too. Like from the beginning, I was like, I want to do this. And she's like, okay, do it. You know?
No, I love that.
She's always been great and supportive and everything. So,
but it's good that you have that mindset, because I feel like I'm the same way, where Elizabeth has been like, no, you should pursue that. And like, she's like, if, you know, I can make up for the lack while you're trying to get it figured out, but I also don't want to take advantage. I'm like, no, don't buy me dinner. Let me cook dinner.
Yeah, but that's part of the motivating force, though.
Yeah.
To like get this shit done. To like, because I don't want to take advantage, especially her, but really anybody. It's like,
it's no same. I don't like asking for gifts. I don't even like asking for help, and I need to get better at that. But it's like, you know, I'm like moving, and I don't want to text anybody to see if they're down to help me.
You don't want to bother people.
Yeah, even though those same people would message me in a heartbeat, and I would be there in a heartbeat.
Right.
So
I get it.
What was the very first knife you made like?
I mean, the first several, I don't even know if you could qualify them. I mean, the first one I made was in that class, but I still have it. But
you do?
Yeah,
nice.
It's in a safe in my house.
Pocket knife?
No, full. It's like a Damascus fixed blade, like Hunter EDC type.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, like a buck knife.
Yeah, pretty much. It's still like too nice. Like if I made that knife right now, it's a knife that I'd be like, this is pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't qualify as like, to me, as the first knife. Like the first ones I made back in the day, I went and bought and sourced from people that patronized my bar. I got files, like old bastard files, and I put them I made a coal fire and put them in a coal fire to get them soft, and then used other files to file them into like knife shaped objects.
Yeah.
Which, dude, I gotta tell you, like, that's how you know if you really want to do something, because it's an absurd amount of work. Like, just getting them soft is a bunch of work, but then taking files and filing steel down until you get like a knife out of it is. But I did. I just kept going and going and going because I wanted, something. Yeah. And then I was like, man, I want to keep doing this, but I can't do it this way. So I bought like a tiny little grinder that I could grind knives out of, and that changed everything, because then you start thinking about like production and like, well, how many of these things can I do? Yeah. But yeah, the first knives I made were like, you could maybe call them butter knives. They're horrible. Like I wouldn't even. There's no pictures of them.
Sure. You weren't nothing you're proud of per se.
The first knives that I made that I remember actually showing people were like miniature cleavers, like stuff that you could almost put on a keychain. Like I still think they're cool. I don't know if they're very useful. Like
they sound cool.
They looked cool. They just have this like kind of bulldog look to them, where you're like, you shouldn't exist, but I accept you.
It sounds fun to have like a tiny little like carbon steel cleaver on my keychain.
100%. I sold a bunch like that to where I think people were putting them on their keychains. Just, it's cool. I don't know.
But they weren't intended for the keychain per se.
Not in the beginning. It was only until people were doing that, and I was like, oh, I should put like a whatever you call it, a hole in the back of it.
That's
for a
sick.
lanyard hole so that people can do it. And it became kind of a trend for a while. It was like a lot of people were making those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't know it. It's just, I think, you know how like one guy runs the 4-minute mile in this part of the world and then another guy does it without. It was one of those.
Yeah,
I think it just became like a weird knife trend that lasted for years.
Dude, it's funny how trends work like that. And like sometimes I really do think it was just by random and people really liked it and a couple people just happened to be doing it in different areas.
Yeah.
So you mentioned it takes about a week to complete a whole knife, and I feel like when people often see art in general, but especially these finished knives, and they see $1,500, I think a common thing is people don't realize how much work and artistry goes into it. Mm-hmm. Do you want to kind of explain like the knife creating process, kind of from beginning to end?
I'd say for first of all, like it doesn't have to take a week to make a knife. Like I can make a fairly crude, very usable, lifelong knife in like an hour. Like,
yeah.
I mean, honestly, like from a piece of like a blank piece of steel, forging it out, doing a quick heat treat, and not putting a handle on it and putting a grind on it to where you could use it as a knife. I could do that in an hour or two.
Okay.
It's just like what I'm doing now is like, you know, there's like a production side of knife making where it's like, if you really want to make money, you need to produce, right?
Yes.
Just like anything, furniture, whatever. I tried to do that and I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I felt like I had a job. You know, and I was like, this is the whole reason.
And you're selling out.
Well, my whole thing is like not feeling like I have a job, but still working. Like I work all the time, but I don't feel like I have a job. You know what I mean? So that's the feeling I want to like live inside of.
But when you're on a production line making 100 of the exact same thing,
it's just boring. Anyway, so like what I'm doing is making a lot of like mid-level to upper level. Like each time I make a knife, I'm exploring new like Damascus steel patterns.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time that takes to like develop patterns and to build on the last one you made and to like change something and to experiment. And like, you know, quarter of the time it just goes wrong. It's like,
what did you call the one that's on the very top of your shop right now? It's like Big Red or
big
something.
Pink?
The Big Pink.
Yeah,
Big Pink.
Yeah, okay.
That square design is nuts.
It's a great example. So like that Damascus steel pattern is like, you make Damascus in steps basically, but that's like a 15-step pattern. So like, you know, just stacking steel up into a billet that's like 4 or 5 inches high, 4 inches long. Like, you know, that is a step, and then forging it out.
Yeah.
Cutting that up into 4 separate pieces. That way you quadruple the amount of steel you have. That's a step. Like, so that stuff that you're talking about, that is and it's mosaic steel too. It's hard to describe this, but there's like different types of steel where you worry about the pattern that's on the outside of the billet that you're making. And then there's mosaic stuff, which you worry about the pattern that's on the end. Where like kind of like mosaic tile, where you have 4 of the exact same pieces, but they're all turned.
Yeah.
At like 45-degree angles or whatever, 90-degree angles.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. So like that shit takes way longer, and you have to like line up the lines. So like you can't just slap it together. It's got to be very. And you're talking about forge welding, so you're getting steel up to like almost 2,000 degrees, and forge welding it underneath a press. So like you have to be super careful how hard you squish it with the press and how much you move it, how much you don't move it, and how you cut it back up. And there's a lot that can go into it. But like, yeah, so that knife. But also all the knives I make are, they're called integral bolsters. So like if you look at them, there's the blade and it goes into the bolster, which is also the same piece of steel as the blade.
Yeah.
And then the tang is inside of the handle. So, and the handle is all like one block of wood.
Yeah.
So it's all integrated. It's all like one flowy piece of steel, and it's harder to do, but it's also like more fun for me to do. But it's also like you know, from a knife maker's perspective, it's like just
top
better.
notch.
Yeah, it's just better. It's just a better
because
way to do
your
stuff.
handle. So I'm imagining you slide the block on.
Yeah.
The skinny piece of metal that is where the handle will go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you slide the block on, and then you bolt it.
Yeah,
essentially.
well, you can bolt. There's a bunch of different ways to attach a handle.
Okay.
There's like you can, some guys, I haven't done this, but you take the tang and then you weld on a piece of threaded rod, like for a bolt, and then you drill a hole all the way through the block. You put the block on, and then you put a bolt on the end and tighten it down. And most guys, when they do that, they'll make like really fancy bolts, like out of Damascus. Like you tap it and put like that way you're making like, I mean, dude, that's the type of shit. It's like, you know, it took me 2 or 3 entire days just to make that billet of steel that you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's 3 full days of just making steel, and then another 2 to 3 days finishing it, because you got to forge the knife out, then you got to do all the heat treating stuff, and then the finishing work where you're grinding it and you're making the handle look and feel good, and then you do a lot of hand sanding and etching at the end to bring it all out, bring the life out of it. So
and you got to polish it and
sharpen it, which is a big, you can that's another thing, is like you can put 6 days into a knife and then completely ruin it at
on
the
end.
Sharpening. Yeah, because it's like, this is the time when you're going from making like this usable art thing to making it into a tool. Yeah. And like, so you have to keep both of those in mind at all times. Yeah. Like, this isn't just about like how cool the angles are that you
or how sharp it is.
You got to like make sure this is a good usable tool. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into knife making that's way more mechanical and science based than like art based too, you know. Yeah. That's kind of why I like it. Like I'm not good with like an open canvas. Like I'm not a good painter, or I need a little instruction first.
I'm way better with like assembling physical items and like creating that way than I am at painting and drawing.
Yeah, I need that's why knives are good for me, because like I have a definitive ending to get to. It needs to either be like a chef knife or an EDC knife or whatever it is, like a folding knife. Like I have to get to this point, but I can play around in all the margins. And then once you get good at making a knife, you realize that the margins are like limitless. Yeah. Especially when you get into Damascus steel, because then you are like almost painting. It's
you like, the layering and creating those designs.
Because you can spend 3 days not worrying about the knife. You can just, quote unquote paint. Yeah. And then take your painting and turn it into the tool that you intended for it to be used for.
And like the Big Pink, I think it's mostly carbon steel with the mosaic steel making those details, where I feel like Damascus is often the other way around. It would be the more polished steel with the lines of the carbon through it.
So the whole thing is carbon steel. Like there's basically, you're in that knife, most of my knives, there's 2 different types of steel, and one has more nickel in it. Okay. Which is the white steel. Okay. So at the very end of the process, when you're all done and you've hand sanded it and it's finished, you etch it, and the nickel acts as a resistant. So the acid will eat at everything else and leave the nickel alone and that bright whiteness. And so that's how you know, like when you start, how to set up a billet and how to forge it, because you got to know where's the white going to be, where's the black going to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that pattern you're talking about, I just added a lot of the black around it so that it like squared it all off like a frame almost. Cool. Yeah, which is something I really want to start doing more of, like doing shit in the middle of a knife and leaving the outside untouched. Clean. So it's not like super busy.
It's crazy. I've never seen, and maybe, I'm not as deep in the like super creative knife scene.
Sure. There's like 10 of us, so it's all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you follow McCurdy Knives at all on Facebook?
I don't think so.
He's pretty cool.
Is he from around here?
No. Oh, okay. I don't know where he's from, but I found him on Facebook one day and I followed him. Right. I'll send you his profile later.
Yeah, cool.
It's because he does cool stuff, and he invites other knife creators of all, people post work that they do. Yeah. It was pretty cool. But I've never seen a knife like the Big Pink. I've never seen a design like that.
Thanks. It took some doing.
And I believe it. I pulled up your shop and was like, what is this?
And that's the thing, is like, as much as those things cost, you almost have to know what you're looking at so that you can have an idea of what goes into it, so that you can be like, oh, that's totally worth it. Because like, there's a website, I could show you the eatingtools.com. Yeah. That dude, I know that dude personally, and he sells like the top level chef knives and like kitchen tools. Yeah. Like, really, really nice, fancy shit. And like, you'll find $4,000, $3,000, $2,000 chef knives on there that sell out like that, because
Oh.
that world is so niche. But like the people that are into that stuff, they know the names of the makers, and they know that like when Salem Straub comes out with a new knife, that they're gonna jump on it.
Yeah,
even though it's a $4,500 knife. Like,
yeah. If you don't
you know.
get it, the next person will,
Yeah,
and
so,
it'll be
like,
gone.
So, part of me, because, like, my dad was a pipeliner, my mom was a teacher, so I come from deeply, like, working class, blue collar
Totally.
people. So I feel a little guilty sometimes. You know what I mean? Because, like, I can't sell this shit to people like us. Like,
Yeah.
it just is, and, like, but at the same time, I'm actually reducing all the prices so that I can, like, try to make stuff obtainable and not just sell to, like, some Wall Street
Totally.
guy.
Totally.
No offense to Wall Street guys, please keep buying stuff. But it's both. I need both. Like,
No, for sure. I love, like, especially, creating art as well, like the stained glass stuff. It really, it's the same way I feel about the knives. It's like when I see work, I never think this is not worth it. If anything, it's probably not expensive enough for the artist, for the amount of effort that they actually put into that. But I still can't afford it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem.
When people come up to me all the time and go, "Man, I like this, but I can't afford it," I'm like, my go-to line is always like, "Well, neither can I," and then I get it. Like, I literally, if I saw another guy that made knives like me and I wanted it, I couldn't buy it.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got a house payment, and I'm not making that. Even though I have a $1,500 knife on the table, I'm not actually making like that much money.
Totally.
It's all just like, But
yeah, because I mean, it's like that. It's not like if you sold a $1,500 knife every day or every week.
Every day would be sick.
Every day would be sick. You might need a team member or something.
Oh, for sure. I can't physically make that much.
No. But yeah, no, exactly. And but that's the thing is, but also, if you priced that knife at $600, you're gonna go out of business,
right?
Because you're not gonna be able to keep up that way either.
Yeah. I have to be able to get my labor out of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I gotta go work somewhere.
No, totally. And I mean, I've been a fan of your work for years.
Thanks,
and I will buy a knife one day.
And I just want to you and to whoever may listen to this, I don't just make $1,500 knives. Like, those are like my
cream of the crop.
Like, the knife I finished yesterday is probably $500, which still, that's a lot for a knife. But I every once, like, for a show, if I'm prepping for a show, I usually try to make a batch of what I call blacksmith knives, which are, they don't have any like handle material on them. They're just pure forged to shape and then ground to be used. They're very, very simple, and they're like, depending on the size, like 100 to 300. So that's about as cheap as I can get.
What's your favorite style of knife to make?
So I used to just draw knives a lot and make them, and then I took a class with a guy who made nothing but chef knives, and every once in a while like a paring knife. But when I took his class, I had this like kind of watershed moment where I was like, oh, these are useful. Like, I can do the arty thing, but also make a useful tool. And that was one of those feelings that was like so strong that I felt like if I didn't do it, I was just completely making a huge mistake. So that's when I started making mostly kitchen knives. So I love making chef knives just because they're useful, and like paring knives and stuff. Because like I genuinely want people to use this stuff. Like, if you get a knife from me and it's just sitting around, thank you for buying it. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but like for real, we'll do whatever you want with it. But like, I do want you to use this. I love cooking. I love eating.
Yes.
I love when people get together and you're prepping stuff and someone's like, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's this sick ass knife. Like, I love that. That's so badass. It's like life affirming. But
it's such a it's such a double-edged sword too, because it's like the people that that would use it for sure, cooks and chefs, like, professionally in restaurants, are the ones that I think would appreciate the artisticness and usefulness of it the most.
I hope so.
I would think so. Yeah. If I walked into a kitchen if I walked into a prep kitchen that had your knives everywhere, I'd be like, I'm probably gonna work here for the rest of my life.
That's funny. That's great.
But they're also like myself, the poor people of society.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's like shit.
Yeah, again, I couldn't buy. I could like I keep. We have like 3 of my knives in my kitchen, and they're just the ones I couldn't sell because I was like, oh, it's got too big of a warp in it, or
I see.
or I fucked the hand, whatever. I fucked something.
I love
up.
that you kept the wonky ones.
Well,
it
yeah.
wasn't like I couldn't sell it because it was so expensive. I couldn't sell it because it was a little like I have too much pride in my work to sell this.
It's just you do that one time and word spreads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for
it's
sure.
Just, it's if I were making 10,000 knives a month, like whatever,
Yeah.
That's how businesses work. Like you accidentally send out a couple shit, whatever, and then you fix it later down the road. But I can't really do that. Like everything that I make has to be like, and maybe, and to anybody that got a knife from me 8 years ago, I probably didn't know that lesson.
Sure.
That's something I learned over time was like, because I've looked at knives I made a long time ago, and I was like, I cannot believe I let someone have this.
That's crazy.
Because it's got like a scratch on it or whatever.
Yeah. Something that you didn't think was a big deal then.
Yeah, because I was just super high on like new thing.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and I think that I kind of do that too. I think there's like a balance, and it certainly depends on the work that you're doing, but I think that there's a balance, especially in the creative side of things, between accepting the flaws and perfecting the flaws.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like some things you can accept, but that scratch you probably could have polished out or something.
That's what I mean.
That would have been an easy fix.
You're right. Because like this. If I looked at this spoon too closely, I'd be like, oh, it's got a weird. It's like whatever. I'm not trying to be like the world's ultimate blacksmith, but there is a point. There is some sort of point on an apex somewhere where it's like this is the area where I'm not willing to go either direction. Like I don't want things to be worse than this, and this is probably about as good as like maybe I could have got it better, but was that 3 extra hours even worth it?
Right. And sometimes you got to learn that lesson by spending the 3 extra hours and realizing it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like this spoon, like I know that it was intentionally not a smooth surface, right? But let's just say like the imperfection of it not being smooth is what makes it perfect and makes it unique and makes it its own spoon.
Right.
Also, just this is so satisfying.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know why I started doing it.
Coolest spoon.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I was like, man, if you got it hot enough, I guess you could get weed hot in it. You could leave it on the stove.
Just like you put your little dabs.
Yeah,
you put your little hash in there.
Yeah.
You got like a straw or
For
something.
sure. I'm pro that for anyone listening, by the way.
Weed positive.
Yeah, you can use my kitchen utensil. Just don't put a knife on. I can't believe we used to do that. When I was younger, we used to put knives on the stove and heat them up. Like,
and they grab the hash.
That now as a knife maker, it's like you're completely destroying your knife by doing that. Like, it's, I didn't know that back in the day. I thought whatever, metal is metal. Like it doesn't affect anything.
I would never do that. Also, I had like you were talking about the carbon steel and like bar tools and stuff.
Right.
I do agree with the carbon steel as a bartender. I would not. Like, I'm very reset every time. As soon as I finish these drinks and working with this customer, I clean everything, reset it, boom. Now I'm 100% ready for the next group.
Right.
Drying off my tools, though, is not a part of that list.
That's why I stopped doing that.
Because it's going to get wet immediately after. But my chef knife that I have is Japanese carbon steel, and it would frustrate me greatly whenever I was cooking and somebody would use my knife, and then I'd come back to a big ass black spot on it because they didn't wipe it off.
Onion or a tomato.
They cut it with it. They cut a tomato with it and then just sat it on the cutting board. And my cousin, I love you. He was like, I'm cooking, just leave me alone. And I was like, all right, fine. Because I'm just like in the kitchen, especially in my house. I came back and my carbon steel knife is in the sink with the tip touching the edge of the sink. And
he just tossed it in there too. He didn't like gently set it.
I don't think so.
No, there's no way.
He just tossed it in there. I was like, this is why I stayed in the kitchen.
Yeah, I made a guy a pretty nice knife a while back, and like really pretty quickly, like a month later, he emailed me and was like, hey, can you fix this? And the almost a full inch of the tip had been broken off.
What did he do?
Well, he blamed it on, he was a chef, and he blamed it on a coworker, and I was like, maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But I was like, why? It was like an $800 knife. I was like, why in the world would you take that to work? And like,
well, them to use.
Let me rephrase. Why would you take it to work and let other people use it?
So there is, it could have been his fault for not clarifying.
Yeah.
But a lot of the kitchens that I have been in
for use
made it very known. Well, so you would have the communal kitchen knives that anyone that works in the kitchen is welcome to use, but then some people would bring their own personal knives.
Right.
I certainly learned what probably would have been 11, 12 years ago. I certainly learned how serious it was to not use someone's personal knives.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know that they were his personal knives, but there were signs, and I should have.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how serious it was to not.
Did you drop it on the ground and break it?
No.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't drop it
on
the
the
ground.
do.
I just cut a couple onions, and I even cleaned it.
Oh, there you go.
I even cleaned it and put it back because, I just grabbed the knife that was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to cut this thing real quick, wiped it off, and set it back down. Wasn't carbon steel, so it probably was a sandy rag wet.
Right.
So I wouldn't have dried it if it was,
Right.
That was a long time ago. But I learned how serious it was to not whenever I'm getting cussed out on the line for using somebody's knife.
Yeah.
And man, I've certainly been in service industry experiences where people will say that I'm mean. In the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Or in the front of house. And I'm like, y'all, I am so nice.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to, I used to get screamed at and cussed out and, literally, breaking you down to the bone.
Yeah. I don't think people realize how much of a fucking war zone a kitchen can be. Especially,
really
I only worked in one kitchen that was open window or whatever they call that.
Open kitchen.
Even that,
we can see the cooks.
The tension is because those guys want to scream, but they don't, and you can feel it, and it's there's all this unsaid stuff,
Oh yeah.
But you can everybody the body language of everybody is just you can know you did that.
You can tell when it's bad.
But dude, when it's
you can also tell when it's good. An open kitchen that's vibing, and you're like, oh no, they're on point today.
Yeah, but I've worked in plenty of restaurants where I've had to even when I bartended, I have to go to the back and be like, guys, there's no doors. Everyone can hear you.
I can hear you guys.
Other.
Yeah. Which, it's a part of it sometimes. Sometimes.
Well, people do dumb shit. And it's dude. There's so much coming at you all the time, when you're working in a kitchen, and it's cramped.
And especially if you're on a really busy dinner shift. Even just the prep shifts are crazy. There's a million things going on. But, a really busy dinner shift, that server comes back and is like, I rung this in wrong. Yeah. And it's like, I'll murder you.
Yeah. I used to say, I don't, actually believe this, but it's a thing I used to say. I was like, when people get out of high school, you should either have to serve 2 years in a restaurant or 2 years in the military.
Facts. Facts.
Do one or the other.
Both will make you a better person.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really, I go out to eat with family members, and if I see them tip 10%, and we had totally, I'll usually give the extra money and put it on the table.
Yeah.
But I also give a little bit of a talking to.
To the family, yeah,
because it's
100%. I'll shame my family.
What's going on back there?
I'm lucky enough that my dad was service industry for a long time. He's been out of the service industry for a long time now, but he's in his 60s. You know what I mean? He's been, he was a server bartender, you know, service industry until like, I don't know, like 32, I think, 33. So he still to this day, you know, even in, he's still human. There are times where he's like, God, that server. And he's aware. He sees when they're busy and whatever. And he's like, man, that server was so bad.
Right.
Like, they did not even seem like they wanted my tip.
Right.
And he's still tipping minimum 20.
Yeah.
Minimum. And it's probably like, because my dad's a badass, it's probably still more than 20%.
And you also just have like no idea what that person is going through. Like they can,
that's true.
You have no idea what happened before they came into work that day. And like I have certain people in my family who really, it's almost disgusts me, but that they think that when they go to a restaurant that they take the word servant a little too literally. You know what I mean? And like,
sure.
Dude, I've almost got up and just straight up walked out of restaurants when I've been eating with people because I'm like, I can't be seen with you.
I've certainly been embarrassed. You know? Like,
yeah.
Are you guys like? Have you like the amount of people that I've been out to eat with, and I'm just have you ever been to a restaurant at all?
Right.
Like,
or just like had any basic empathy towards like what it's like to be a human being other than yourself. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
that shit irritates shit out of me.
No, it irritates the heck out of me too, dude. It's just like but a lot of the times, like, they are that same way to everyone. But whenever you're like that way to your mom, I'm just like, whatever. You're a brat.
Right.
You're a spoiled brat, you know. But whenever you're that way to this random server, I'm like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Yeah, you're a bad person.
Yeah, and that's when it crosses the line for me being quiet to being like, oh, I can say whatever I want now.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things in life in general is like when I feel like someone crosses like a societal line towards like, oh, I get to say whatever I want. Like, because you're a bad person. Like,
dude, I have this whole thing that I'm like, I'm trying to overcome. But it is, I described it as I use the metaphor of there's like something like the Hulk inside of me.
Yeah.
And when you piss it off, the Hulk comes out. So like, I don't like to make fun of people. I don't want to, especially if you've got something that you can't control.
oh, that's
so,
yeah.
So like, let's just say somebody has a lisp. I probably find that lisp very endearing and cute. So I want that to be clear. Unless you're an asshole.
Sure.
Then I am going to roast the heck out
100%.
of you, and that lisp that you can't control is gonna be a target.
Yeah, it's
like that monster
yeah.
comes out, and I just start just
100%.
Like, you cross the line, and it's like you said, oh, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, because
and I'm gonna be mean.
What
to
they
you.
don't know, what they don't know is that I've been building up a year's worth of shit talk. And not saying it, and that's what makes me an okay person.
Yes.
The second you give me the fucking pass, I'm like, okay, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I got 3 years of bald jokes or whatever.
Of content.
Yeah.
Of
and I'm going to let all of them go at once so that I never have to see you again. So that you avoid me every time you see me.
Yeah, because I don't want you to talk to me again.
And that's a big part of, like, again, I feel like, obviously you shouldn't make fun of people if they don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's obvious. But, like, I feel very strongly that once people do deserve it, that you almost
Give
have, like, give it to him, dude. Go for it. Like, fuck that guy, you know?
It's like, it's definitely like a thing that I battle with because it's like, I don't want to compromise my own moral code, but also my moral code is like, beat up the bad guy.
Yeah, well,
the bad guy deserves to be crushed.
Yeah, they talk like that for a reason. It's because not enough people were like, listen here, dude. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and personally, my personality, like, I love comedy and I love like wordplay.
Yes.
So I'm constantly trying to do that, like working out puzzles in my head of like how to talk shit. And like my friend group when I grew up, very, very big shit talkers. Like, I mean, we call each other right now and just talk tons of shit.
My family.
Yeah, but it's fun for me. Like, and we all know where we're coming from. Like, I enjoy just the creativity of running my mouth. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure.
But I know the difference between a 15-year-old friendship and a new guy who just hasn't learned how to communicate to me yet or something. You know?
So I think it was episode 6 or something. My friend Elma came on. He's from Cameroon, Africa.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great episode. Definitely highly recommend checking that one out. Yeah. But he was talking about, so they speak Wimbum, which is kind of like an African language specific to that language, but it's got like French influence and everything like that. But he was like, I was like, asked him something about like when you're like getting on somebody or like trying to like attack somebody verbally. And he was like saying like in his, like the way he was raised, like they wouldn't call you a bitch. They wouldn't call you a little shit. They're going like your mom is like over there roasting you like you big-headed little like
calling the problem out.
Yeah, like literally just like but just like roasting you.
Right.
Like it was all about the roast and the clever wordplay. Like they didn't have curse words so much as they did roasting the hell out of you and being clever. And I was like, that's pretty great.
Yeah, I love that. This might be out of pocket, but like years ago, I thought about going into. I was like, I wonder if I could do stand up, you know, and like do comedy or whatever. Yeah. And then I realized, like, I was like, the average black dude is like 100 times funnier than I've ever been in my entire life, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like if I was, if I was on a stage and I was just like, any 4 of you here are funnier than I. Just listening to like black dudes hang out and roast each other is like. I'm always fucking dying laughing, dude. Like, it convinced me to not do comedy. I was like, there's no way. You guys are 100 times funnier, and I'm never going to be. Like,
dude, that is so funny. Well, it's like, that's like one of my favorite things about rap music is the roast, the clever wordplay roast aspect about it. Oh, dude. Like, it's... I love wordplay, and like I am the type of person that'll be listening to the hardest rap song ever, and I'm just laughing my ass off the whole time because I'm like, you guys, like, you're hilarious. Yeah. Like whoever, whatever, insert artist name, you're hilarious with the way you choose to use words.
I know this is like the most obvious example in the world right now, but that Kendrick Lamar song about Drake, like. That when I heard that for the first time, we were driving on the radio.
Probably a minor.
When that line came up, I almost had to pull over. I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
I was mowing my lawn. Yeah. I was mowing my lawn, and I stopped. Yeah. It was just like, dude. Yeah. And then I've read it back. Yeah. I was like, "That is hilarious. Let's start that." It's
insanely clever, and like, and like to be that clever, and also to like just bury a motherfucker. Like, he buried that dude, and then during the Super Bowl, he dug him back up to bury him again. Yeah. And it was like, I've never seen anything like that. I watched that shit. There's a shitty little pizza place across the street from my house that I hate, but it's right there, you know? And I went over there to watch it.
Diorio's?
Yes, Diorio's. Yeah,
I knew you lived down that way, and I was like, what pizza places are on the street?
Yeah. I hate that place. It's so
I don't either.
It sucks. But
I don't like it either. Yeah.
I went over there to watch Super Bowl, and I was surrounded. The part of town I live in has a lot of, like, I'll just say it, like Republican types.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Upper,
you live in a nice area.
I do, and it's weird because like all the houses around me are very working class. Like
you live, knowing the Diorios, and whenever I was buying a house, there is like a pocket of like normal people.
Yeah, our house was built in 1923. The house across from us was built in 1923. The one next to them is like just a cinder block square.
Yeah.
Like there's several, and the Prospect has been trying to annex that area for, I guess, years. Yeah. I actually went door to door recently. They tried to annex our property and like all of our neighbors. And I went.
What does that mean?
Like they want. So right now we're a part of Jefferson County.
Oh, they're trying to get you.
They're trying to get us into city limits of Prospect, which means it means a lot of things.
Higher taxes.
But we would pay Louisville taxes and Prospect.
They're
taxes.
trying to gentrify you guys.
Well, they just want a bigger tax base, and like they want to be able to tell people what to do with their property. That was one of the things. Like they want to be able to tell you. They're basically a giant HOA.
Well, and if you can't afford the taxes, then you got to leave.
Yeah, well, and like taxes are one thing. Like if they're going to things that are cool and good, I don't have a problem. But like, but Prospect is a giant HOA that tells you what to do with your property, and I have a huge fucking problem with that. Plus, I can see City Hall from my house. Like if there were no trees, you could see it, and so I can see the fucking cops from my house. And I don't do anything that illegal at my house, but like I just have such a deep-seated distrust for the police and like authority in general. The idea that the cops would be right next to my fucking house kills me. And so I went door to door, knocking on people's doors one night, just being like, "Hey, are you aware that this is happening? I'm trying to get people on board to say no to this." And I met a lot of people that day.
I love that you were just doing that. Like, that's like something that people be hiring somebody to do. And you were just like, I'm just going to go and knock on doors because I do not like this.
I had 2 or 3 beers and I was fired up.
I was going to ask if you were a little toasted.
Oh, well, yeah. Regardless of the walking door to door, I'd probably had a few beers anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know how we got on. Whatever. But,
well, it's a great area.
It's super nice.
I love that area. I really was stoked about the house that we went and looked at, but it was like a great price, but it was a little bit more than we spent on this place, much smaller. And it I'm a big fan of like open floor plans. And this whole house was just like tiny little room with a door connected to another tiny little room. And it just like something about it just wasn't right. But I loved, like, I felt like we drove through a forest to get there.
Dude,
and it was
driving
awesome.
down River Road is very
it's
soothing, I guess.
It is.
It just feels really nice.
It
even
does.
Like at night, even too. It's just you feel like you're driving in a tunnel.
Also 42. When you take 42 like towards Brownsboro.
Yeah, it turns into Brownsboro.
When you take it that direction, there's that stretch.
For sure. There's no cell phone service for like 2 miles.
It cuts off. I was on the phone and lost my call and was like, what's, because I think I was literally saying like, dude, this stretch of 42 is like, I don't even feel like I'm in Louisville. And then I'm like, are you there?
Yeah.
Are you there?
It's like dense canopy. It's really nice.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. Yeah. So with your knives, everything is handmade, including the handles.
Yes, and I have all the scars to prove that they're handmade.
What are your favorite materials to use for
handles?
Yeah.
So
I've seen some really cool ones that you've done.
It's got to be just burls. So like, you know what a burl is? Like on a side of a tree. So like,
oh yes,
yeah, they look like cancer.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so if you cut those off, the wood grain is insane because it's basically, from what I understand, it's cancer. So like, the cells of the tree or whatever don't have like genetic code to say to do this one specific thing. Yeah. So they just go, it's chaos. It's like, but that chaos ends up looking visually amazing. It's so beautiful. So all the handle material I use, it goes through this process called stabilization, where you put it in a vacuum chamber with resin. You suck the air out, and it pulls all the resin into the material. And it replaces all the air that's in the wood with resin. So it's
now you just have a solid, unoxidized block. So
when like it won't shrink in the winter, it won't expand. When you can get it wet and not worry about the water
soaking in at all.
Yeah. So it's stabilized. So anyway, when you do that, you can dye the resin. And so you can pull. So the less dense a wood is, the more color you can pull inside of a handle, the material. So that's why that big pink, that knife, is bright pink, because that is a very whatever the opposite of dense is. It'll pull all that color into it. I can't think.
Yeah. No, but was that one of the what did you call it? The cancer bulbs?
Oh, burl.
Was that from a burl?
Yeah, I think it's a maple burl. But,
cool.
And to be honest, I don't know if there's a difference of burls per species of wood. Like
But I imagine each one looks different.
They definitely look different, but they all look they're just
Similar.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And like, so I used to use a lot of like man-made stuff, synthetic material, but I hate, like, carbon fiber looks really cool, but I feel like I have to wear like a full fucking aerospace face mask to use that stuff because it's really nasty to grind.
Yeah.
And paper micarta is really cool. Like, you can make micarta out of almost like anything. Like, you could take our pants and cut them up into strips and soak them in resin and then press them and make like a material out of them that you could use for handles. And micarta is like that. And if you use really thin paper, like really like this color blue, this like light turquoisey blue, you stack them up and press them and make a material out of them. They make beautiful handle materials.
Very cool.
It's basically plastic, which sucks, but like it just looks nice. Like, when you hand sand it up to like 2000 grit and then buff it, it looks fucking awesome. But it's modern. So like, I really like making stuff because a lot of my, like, especially the folders that I make, I try to make them look to where you can tell they were forged.
Folding knives, pocket knives. Pocket knives.
Yeah, pocket knives. I just call them folders because
I like that. I thought folders was. I never heard that term, but it was like I did know what you meant. I just wanted to clarify.
Recently, I started calling foldies.
Foldies,
which I kind of think is rad.
I think that's even cooler. Yeah,
you got a foldie? That's a cool foldie.
Hey, that's a really cool foldie you got there.
Plus, like, with all the like AI like language detection shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's cool or not cool. Like, can I say knife? Like, without getting like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, this is how things evolve.
Check out this foldy.
Right, look at this foldy, dude.
Dude, that's gonna catch on. Yeah. I'm using it. Next time I see somebody with a pocket knife, I'm gonna be like, nice foldy,
dude. Nice.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Dude, I'm sure I've seen them and not realized that's what it was with the burl handles. But some of my favorite handles that I've seen that you created, and this might have been like when I first met you many moons ago, was your pine cone.
Pine cones, yeah.
Yeah, the pine cone handles.
Those are sick, dude.
So cool.
Yeah, you can take a whole pine cone, cast it with resin basically, and then cut it in half, and then you get the inner part of the pine cone, and you put that on the outside of the knife, and it looks crazy.
Really cool.
Especially if basically all the knives I'm making nowadays are Damascus. So if you have like, you can match like a Damascus pattern and make like a pine cone pattern with pine cone handle. It's very cool.
Like, I'm just imagining the solid line all the way down the blade and then lining up with the handle.
100%.
Because you already talked about how the style that you do is so fluid and flows all together and is one solid piece that just brings it.
It's very cool. Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. What would you say the hardest part of what you do? Like, what was the hardest part to master?
Jeez, dude. I mean, forging is still difficult for me. Like, taking a raw piece of steel that's in like a, I don't know, whatever, 4-inch by 2-inch block.
Yeah.
And then turning that into a knife, like a usable, or at least getting as close to possible before you start grinding.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult. That's actually why I still make the integral bolsters, because like I still struggle with it. And I'd say 1 out of every 6, I really fuck up bad. Like, bad.
Really?
Yeah. And then like, I still use the steel.
I was gonna ask.
I do. It takes way too much time not to like recycle your. So what I've been doing lately is, if I fuck it up really bad, I smash it all into really thin pieces, and I cut it up and use it for either bolsters on foldies, or back bars on foldies, like the back bar.
Yeah.
Or I'll just make like I'll just cannibalize it, and like I have a bucket, I call it the fuck it bucket, where I put all my screw ups, and it's like, maybe I'll pull this out later,
Sure.
I also been making, for the shows I do, I make a lot of pendants. So
cool.
If I make a cool Damascus pattern, I'll cut a chunk off of it, make a pendant out of it. So I literally can't afford not to like use
that
everything.
steel. No, and that makes sense. Like, and with steel, I'm sure, like, because you've got different steels mixed together. Sometimes there's like you might not be able to use it exactly for the same, or even if you melted it all together, essentially. But I just imagined that the life of that steel is not gone. You can still use.
You can definitely get it to a point where you have destroyed something.
Sure.
That's pretty rare for me nowadays. Like,
Yeah.
just I know what I'm doing. I hope to the point, but every once in a while I'll do something and I'm just like, what the fuck happened here? You know, and also like sometimes I don't know if I'm sure everybody else, you just keep working on something to the point to where you feel like, what's the term? Diminishing returns. Where like, the more you go back to it, the more you fuck it up. And like, and there is a certain catharsis I get out of throwing things in my shop. So like, if it gets to a point where I'm like, I just can't deal with this anymore, I'll just fucking chuck it as hard as I can against something and hope it just disappears. You know,
that's great.
Yeah.
I want to come like you should like have a bucket next to the fuck it bucket, and it'll be the Zach comes over and chucks chunks of steel at the wall with me bucket.
Oh yeah, I love
it. We just like hang out and chuck some
I have
steel
right outside of my shop. I have a work table that I made a long time ago, and I propped it up vertically, and I'd spray painted some like bullseyes on it, and so every once in a while I'll go out and I'll sharpen something enough to where I could think it'll stick.
Yeah,
and I'll just stand out there and throw knives for a while.
Do you ever make like ninja stars? Or...
I had one friend that really wanted me to make something like that for him, and I started, and I was like, it was that feeling again where I was just like, I don't want to fucking do this.
I hate it. Yeah. There is like sometimes you get prompts as a creative. Sometimes you get prompts from friends that you're like, that's sick.
Yeah.
And then other times you start and it's like, I can 100% relate. Like, I don't want to do this. This feels like a job.
Right.
And I don't even get paid for it.
Right.
So, like.
Well, and you're only going to do, it's some part of, I don't know how much this translates to everything else. I bet it does. But, like, you're basically doing R&D when you make a new thing. And so I've got to the point where I don't feel like I can charge someone for R&D. It's like I have to build it into the price of the final product.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, that's why when I make like if I make a new pattern of Damascus, it's based on like a bunch of stuff I already knew. Yeah. So, and I'm just taking it like 2 extra steps or whatever. You know what I mean? So with like a brand new thing, it's like, well, I got to spend a whole day just figuring out how to make that. Because the first, I'm not that talented. Like the first one's not going to work, right?
Sure.
Like, and so then I got to figure out what I did wrong and then make the second one. And then maybe that one's good enough to sell.
But that's for developing new designs.
Well, but like even with someone asking you to make a new thing, that's why like people I got an email today. A guy asked me to do something, and I was like, "That's a cool idea, actually, what he wants to do." But I was like, "But I've never done that." So,
but in charging people for the R&D, the amount of steel I'm gonna have to throw in the fuck it bucket is really gonna up the cost of.
Yeah, and but then you have the. You know, I'm just straight up not a capitalist, so it's like I have to have the conversation of like, well, do I charge him for the R&D time, or do I just charge him for like what the finished product would have cost, or whatever? You know,
gonna be a lot of pendants.
Yeah,
this next show.
That's funny.
No, I get that, and I respect that. I think a lot of industries, especially in a capitalistic society, you are paying for the R&D.
Yeah.
And that makes it even harder to obtain.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that you don't, but I also can like imagine that struggle of just like, man, I really want to do this idea, which I think, especially depending on who you're dealing with, I think you can be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
With
for
people.
Sure. I've become more and more transparent about that.
You could even be like, look, this is the price of the finished product. This is the price that I estimate going in the hole.
Right.
Let's say this is the maximum going in the hole. You split that with me 50-50. And I got it. And if it costs me less, then I'll be transparent. Then you don't have to pay. You pay 50-50 no matter what the price is. Yeah. But the max would be this.
Yeah, I've done stuff.
I can see people do that.
I've done stuff like that before, and people have overpaid what I asked. because I was transparent with them.
Yeah, and they were like, "No, dude. Oh, only $300.
Yeah.
Here's $5."
That just happened to me like a month or two ago. I can't remember what it was, but I made something for somebody and I charged a very fair price and told them the whole process.
Yeah,
and they paid 50% more than what I asked for.
That's awesome.
Right. It was because that's how it should be.
That's how it should be, because it's like they see that you're not taking advantage, and I'm sure what they paid they like could afford.
Yeah.
Or they wanted to pay that.
That's another thing, and I don't know if this is relevant or not, but with the pricing and all this stuff, like if someone, I've had to realize over a few years that it's like if I think something's worth $1,000, but I feel bad about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, we'll charge $750. The thing I've realized is like, well, the guy at a show who can spontaneously impulse buy a $750 knife can afford the $1,000.
Exactly.
So like, just fucking charge the $1,000 and get what you're worth. Like,
totally.
That's just
because once you get to that certain price, I look at it the same way with tipping. Mm-hmm. Whenever I go out to a restaurant and let's say my bill is $50, if I give you 10. I spent 60. If I give you 20, I spent 70. I only spent 10 extra dollars. I can afford $10. To me, it was only 10 extra dollars. To the server, I'm a badass.
Right.
And like I'm leaving and they're like, I hope they come back. And it's like, I really didn't spend, like, again, I spent 10 extra. Yep. The difference between 60 and 70 is small. And it makes such a big difference. And that's the same with the knives, you know? But you don't get tipped.
Right.
You know,
I've thought about that so many times with the tipping stuff though. We're like, you know, I don't know, the bill's like, whatever. And I'll be like, well, should I leave 16 or 15 because it's a nice even number? It's like, no, just leave the extra $2, dummy. Like,
100%.
Why are you keeping the $2? She needs it. Like, she's the one working right now. You're not working. You're doing leisure activity. You know, like
totally.
But it also the same thing. It irritates the shit out of me when I'm with someone and they do that and they don't leave the extra whatever to make it 20% or whatever.
Totally.
It's like you just, especially if it's a big bill, like a couple $100, and it's like, why are you okay with spending $200 but not that extra 40 for the tip? Like
that's what really irks me too, is that especially bigger bill places that and people that don't tip well, it's like you clearly don't care about the money.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You clearly don't care about the money, or you had it you were expecting to spend a lot tonight, and when you spend $400, what's an extra 20?
Yeah.
And that's going from 20 to 30% or something, you know? I do love me a Mexican beer.
Dude, it's like all I want anymore. Like, I've had enough of, like, nothing against craft beer people, whatever. I just, like, don't want any. I just want to drink Pacificos and Modelos and Tecates.
Just a nice, crisp, light beer.
Especially, dude, if I'm out in the shop and I like foraging a bunch of stuff and I'm ready for a beer, not trying to drink some skunky-ass
IPA.
No, dude, I want to put lime juice.
Yes.
And maybe a little tahini around the rim of this can.
Yes.
And just crank it.
Have you ever had chamoy?
That sounds familiar. What is that?
So chamoy is a sweet, citrusy red paste that is used in a lot of Mexican cooking. The places that I've seen it the most would be like on top of like that fruit bowl. They would put like a blob of chamoy and then sprinkle tahini. Also, when I was living in South Texas, it was very common to get your beer dressed. And dressed meant they, like, if it was the bottle cap, before they popped it, they would roll the top in chamoy, roll it in tahini, and then pop the bottle and stuff your lime in.
Fucking sounds awesome,
like,
dude.
If anybody ever asks if you want your beer dressed, say yes. Because if it's anything close to that, like,
I feel like I would have said yes anyway, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'd be like, put a dress on it.
Yeah, put a dress on it.
Yeah.
That's a concept right there. If I ever start a bar, I'm going to be like, would you like that dressed? And if they ask what I meant, I'm going to be like, you're just going to have to find
Just
out.
say yes, dude.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the people that just say yes. So I can just
twice.
bring them a beer with a little Barbie dress on it.
I actually love that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is I make knives, so I like a lot of people I think maybe think I'm like right-wing coded or something. And
that's a bummer.
It bothers me for obvious reasons.
I believe that.
So like I started painting my nails when I go to shows and like just little bitty things.
Little signs.
Just to be like, don't fucking talk to me about Trump, please.
Yeah, yeah. It is funny how you kind of have to do that, where it's like you're making them, you got to make them uncomfortable
100%.
enough to not talk to you like you're one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Which again,
that is so funny, dude.
Because I used to feel like I had an obligation to be nice to everybody all the time. And like there's a difference between being nice and just that middle ground where you're just not being nice or mean, you're just kind of like saying yes and okay or whatever, answering questions. I'll do that to anybody because I'm trying to make money. But like,
and also the people who don't realize that you're just yawning and nodding your head through the cover. Like, how do you, like, it has been so much time. How do you not realize that I don't give any shits about what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's kind of the problem though, right?
I've said 1,500 times.
They're a little bit like unempathetic and
yeah, those are definitely like the type of people, like, you could probably just walk away and they would continue their story.
100%. I guess you had something to
do. They're just talking to nobody. Anybody that makes eye contact with them or is in the general vicinity.
That's a hell of a move, dude. Someone's talking and you go, okay, cool. And you just walk off in the middle of this. That's a move.
That would send the message.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about this great thing that Trump did that I'm a big fan of. And you're like, okay, cool. And then you walk away.
You gotta let them get a little into that so they feel themselves a little bit. They get into their sentence a little bit. And then after you realize they're like really into what they're, then you just turn around and walk off. If you do it at the beginning, they're like, they haven't started yet, You gotta let them get comfortable.
I wish that monkey behavior was more acceptable amongst humans. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, tell me about this great thing Trump did.
As
that
you're
you
digging
love.
into your
As
underwear.
I'm like, yeah. And
go ahead, don't worry about this. I do this all the time.
Yeah,
you're like digging.
Do you think that if it was acceptable within our culture that humans would become skilled enough to just let out enough for that one throw? Because you want to keep as much ammo. You don't always have to poop. So what poop you have has to last.
I imagine like somehow you keep it at the bottom of your pant leg so you can shake it on them. That's I feel like that's the like gentlemanly way to toss shit on someone.
Yeah.
They like say something and you just give them like a look and you just like shake out the bottom of your leg and they look down and they're like, how dare you shit on my shoe. Shake your shit somewhere else, Mr.
Shake your shit somewhere else, sir. Yeah. That's pretty great.
It's vile.
I think we should bring back lighting paper bags of poop on people's front porches.
Oh, I definitely did that when I was younger.
I never did. We talked about it. I knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
But we never did it. There wasn't a whole lot of dogs in our neighborhood. And I also was a total good boy. I was like scared of getting in trouble.
I was like that until I was about 14 or 15. About the time I started smoking weed and finding beers around, And then I was like, it opened up a whole new avenue of like debauchery and being like, I don't have to like everybody. I can. That Jared Prater kid down the street, I'm gonna put a bag of dog shit on his. With fireworks. I put fireworks in it too. Lit it all at the same time. His mom opened the door. She didn't deserve it. He did. But
Jared Prater, you suck.
he does suck. He actually still sucks.
He still sucks?
Still sucks big time.
Good. I don't feel bad about anything I said.
No, he sucks. Yeah. Honestly.
Is he in Missouri?
I might go home for Christmas this year and find him.
Dude,
Get a little liquored up.
I'll provide, I want to show you my appreciation for being on this podcast, and I will provide the bag of poo.
Nice.
To put on.
Can't wait to get pulled over with that. They're like, sir, was there a bag of dog shit with somebody's name on it?
No,
it's like,
no.
You weren't ever 14, officer? And he's like, sir, you're 40. It's like, shut up.
I also love the idea of you're like, no, that's not dog shit. That's my friend Zach's.
Oh, you thought that was from a dog?
Oh, you thought that was
He's
from
a
a dog?
light eater.
How naive of you, you silly officer. Oh. You twirl your mustache a little bit while you're saying it.
Yeah. I shall shake my shit on you too, officer.
That's hilarious. I asked your favorite style of knife to make, right?
Well, yeah,
chef
like
knife.
Chef knife.
You like usable art.
Yeah, and the foldies are fun too.
The foldies,
because like the mechanics of them are a totally different thing. And I can make like when I make Damascus, I can make like these little windows of Damascus instead of like this big ass thing, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like you think about it differently. You think about like how to compress things and like how to get a tighter, smaller pattern and stuff. So like it just allows me to like switch gears, I guess.
Yeah.
Plus, more people are buying those right now, so I like that.
And I imagine that they're probably a little bit more on the affordable side.
A little, but not that
They're
much.
Still pretty expensive, actually. Yeah, I think I saw some that I was like, which when you think about, maybe materials wise.
Yeah, it's still spending days on the steel,
But it's, the materials wise, it might be less materials, but it's probably the same amount of work.
For sure.
If not, you want to know something real talk? Is materials wise for this cactus is very small. Mm-hmm. The green sheet I could probably get for $10 to $15, depending on where
How big is that?
1 by 1.
Oh, okay.
12 by 12. 12 by 12. So I could make a lot of these from that. But you also got the solder and the tape, then the orange and whatever. But materials wise, it's really not a lot. But the amount of time that it takes me to make this, and the thing, like real talk, it would have taken me way less time if it was bigger.
Yeah. Oh, really?
But being so small, getting in there and like dealing with these tiny little pieces is kind of a pain.
Right.
And like, especially the flowers, like the flowers are like the most annoying part.
Yeah.
And they're so tight, but it's like, it's no materials, but it being smaller, I would almost be better. It would make more sense for me to make bigger ones. More expensive.
Isn't that funny how the brain works like that though? Because when you see those, like if you had a little shop and people walk in, they see a bigger one and a smaller one, they're the same price.
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Well, shouldn't smaller be smaller number?" And it's like, you gotta explain like, well, actually,
it actually took me longer to make.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I'm actually charging less for the other ones.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about the foldies.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh, I have to wear like I don't know if this matters, but like there's a fucking like zoom glasses. What do you call it? What are the words?
Like binocular.
Yeah, but like for
magnifying glasses.
Yeah, it's like jewelers use them a lot. To,
yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I have to wear those to do 20% of
really.
Yeah, because it's all tiny little pieces that have to fit together just right, and like the way the lock bar comes out and its relationship with the back of the knife, there's a little 1/16 inch ball bearing in there called a detent ball, and you have to put a detent in the blade so that when you shut it, the knife like grabs the ball.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah. That like kind of. I know. Yeah, because it pushes.
Got to keep the blade has to be 20 thousandths of an inch smaller than the back bar, and then
20 thousandths of an inch.
Yeah, so like everything has to be very, very, very. Because otherwise, like, if you
can you even show me 20 thousandths of an inch
with the fingers? No. Like that, probably?
I think that's too big.
She definitely did not say that.
Have you seen the reels on social media where like the girlfriend or wife will be like, "Babe, what happened to your back? You got this scratch on it." And she's like, "It's big. It's like this big." And he's like, "Oh, that's not that big." And she's like, "No, it's like this big. That's big." And then he's like,
Nice.
"Yeah, that is big, isn't it?"
It's like the old South Park, the old South Park episode where the Japanese people are coming trying to sell stuff to the South Park citizens, and they're like, "Oh, your penis, it's so big, so large," and they're all like, "Yeah, it is big and large, isn't it?" And they just fucking don't realize they're being taken for a ride.
Exactly. Dude, I love how many of these questions were answered naturally. Because my next question would have been, do you see your work more as functional tools or art pieces? And it's all about finding the balance of both.
Both, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that to me is like that's the game.
And
like,
that is the coolest part about it to me, honestly.
yeah.
Is
Well,
the
and
fact that,
yeah.
like,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, it's just that it's a thing that like I've always valued a really, well, I won't say always, but for a long time I've really valued a good knife. And I've seen throughout the years gorgeous knives. I don't think in person, out and about living my life, I've ever seen a knife as gorgeous as one that you've created. The first knife that I ever saw that I thought was really freaking cool was Adam, whatever his last name is.
The bartender dude.
There's the chef. He was the chef at Ostra.
That place right next to I used to live right next to that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
He had purchased
Green
a knife.
handle?
Yeah.
I know.
And it
knife,
had the holes in it.
Yep.
It was the first knife that I'd ever seen with
I
those
came up
holes.
with that when I was on mushrooms, actually.
Dude,
I was in the shop on mushrooms, and I was like, I need to do something weird, and that was that was the weird thing I did.
I want you to know, and like I have like a dream knife, and while I don't think that my dream knife would be a replica of that one, whenever I try to picture my dream knife, that knife always comes to my mind.
That shape is borrowed. I know it's crazy. I made that knife like 8 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
When I know exactly what you're talking about because I don't do production, but
right.
That knife is very Bob Kramer inspired. Do you know who Bob Kramer is? It's totally cool if you don't.
I don't.
Bob Kramer was. There were custom knives were starting to be a thing in like the late 60s, 70s. Like guys who were making custom knives in this country. It was like becoming like, a commodity, things you could buy and sell. But Bob Kramer was the first dude to make custom chef knives. No one was doing that. Everybody's making like Bowies and, whatever.
Yeah.
EDC, whatever.
Well, mass production.
Outdoor knives, all that shit.
Yeah.
But
when it came to customs.
Custom, yeah. Exactly. So Bob Kramer was the first dude to do custom chef knives. And so now his chef knives sell at auction. Every time he finishes one, he puts it up for auction. And
Is he passed? Like
no,
he's not. He's still creating,
and they go for 20,000 or more. 20,000 for a chef
Bob
knife.
Kramer. I'm gonna definitely look him up.
Oh, for sure. He's like, and he's hilarious. He's like crazy smart, crazy funny. He actually went to clown school before he ever did chef knife stuff. He had like real bad dyslexia, so he was bad at school. And when he got out of high school, he went to clown school. It was going to be like a traveling clown carnival guy. And then he started sharpening knives for people at like restaurants, and then did what most people do and went, I wonder if I can make one of these. Yeah. And then he became Bob Kramer.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. I love the thought of one, the clown influence coming into the knife world. Yeah. And two, I got so many things came to mind. Clown influence in the knife world. My first like chef that I worked under, the kitchen that I got yelled at and cussed at and told I was a dumbass, and I'm just like, guys, I'm just cutting onions, man. Yeah. The head chef there went to clown school.
Did he really?
Yeah. Which I've been trying to get him on, and I will eventually. and that's a thing that I want to talk about. But then I've seen the guys. Being in kitchens, I've had the communal kitchen knives.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that comes and sharpens those every week.
Yeah.
So I'm just imagining Bob Kramer being that baggy shirt,
right.
like messy haired dude that comes in, sharpens your knives real quick, and you're like, "Thanks, bro. See you in 2 weeks." And then him becoming, I can't wait to see his work.
Oh, it's crazy.
It sounds really cool.
He's been doing this I think he started making knives like the 80s. So.
But what makes me mad is anyone paying $20,000 for a knife probably isn't using it.
Oh, 100%.
But you know what?
You never know. Some people have so much money that like it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true.
A friend of mine, the guy I learned to make really cool Damascus from, he doesn't even really make knives. He just makes Damascus and then sells it. And he sells it to a gun company that makes 1911 pistols.
Sick. That's my favorite style.
Whether you're into guns or not, totally get it if you're not, no big deal. But like just to look at a thing that a person made.
Yeah.
They are fucking crazy cool. Like, crazy cool. And, dude, I've seen them go for $90,000. Like,
they're attachments to a 1911 pistol.
So, he'll make the steel, and they'll make the upper part. Like
the chain.
The whole upper will be made, and then they'll make the grips, the 1911 grips. Yeah. And then they'll make the trigger and the hammer.
So
all out of Damascus. They'll mill the whole thing out of his steel. And then... they've gone. The cheapest one I've ever seen was $12,000, but I've seen them go for $90,000, which is just fucking crazy. But like the reason I bring that up is because there are people out again about the pricing stuff. If you want to charge $1,000 but you feel bad about it, just do it because the guy that can afford it can't afford it.
Right.
And like you and me are the ones that like are barely scraping by on this shit. So like, just get your money. Like, just fucking charge. Like I get it that we're all at various degrees of anti-capitalism and stuff. Like I get it, but like we still live within the system. Get your fucking money.
And the person paying $750 on a whim can pay $1,000 on a whim.
Right, 100%.
Yeah. Nobody is seeing that $750 knife and is like, I don't know. I only brought 800.
Right.
Do I, or maybe they did, but they're not trying to spend that on one thing.
Right. Well, and they usually tell me when they do that stuff. And like, if anybody ever hears this, that's like, because I always want to help out people like us or people that work in the industry, especially. Like, and if it's one of those things, or if you see something from me and you're like, I want that so much, but that's too much. I will, if you just tell me and be honest about it, like, I'll help out because I want you to have this. You know what I mean?
Dude. Like, well, we should talk.
Yeah.
We should totally talk. And I don't know if you do, we could potentially find a combination of trade, money.
That's cool. I just did that recently.
Yeah.
Too.
And like, and the balance, like, find the balance that like, okay, I need to make this.
Yeah. 100%.
And
usually I need the material cost covered.
That makes
and then
250% sense.
Well, I just did that at a show. I just did a show in Kansas City, and a kid wanted a knife, and he was like, "Look, man, I got $100." And he had 3 rings on. I was like, "If you give me the $100 and that ring, I'll give it to you."
That's cool.
It was super cheap, or not cheap, but it was affordable. Like, it was a Kiridashi.
It wasn't like his grandmother's ring.
No,
his great-great-grandmother's ring that's been passed down for...
It was just an old turquoise ring. I love turquoise rings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I usually have lots of them on, but I've been working all day today.
My earring has turquoise in it.
Nice. We went to Arizona or New Mexico, Santa Fe recently.
This is from New Mexico. It's New Mexican turquoise.
I bought a book about just a book about turquoise, and I just devoured it in like half an hour.
Sick.
I was like, I don't know why I love this stuff so much, but
yeah, this is it's New Mexican turquoise and oyster shell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oyster shell, that's cool. Yeah, they use a lot of coral too in that stuff. They're red kind of.
Yeah. Do you ever do like natural stone handles and stuff?
I haven't. I know guys that do, but they make the knife so heavy that basically what you're doing is you're making an extremely high dollar museum quality collector's piece, and I don't really do that.
It takes the functionality out of it.
You could still use it technically, but like that's kind of what that's for. Like
Yeah.
the only guys I know that use stone are they're making like $12,000 daggers,
Yeah.
and they're amazing. Like
I'm
they're
imagining
beautiful.
more like cutting out little pendants,
Oh, okay.
putting those in the handles.
Sure, I've had a couple ideas before about putting, so like on a foldy, I'm making this thing.
I love it. I love it.
There's a way that you can mill out like a window slot in the handle, and then put something into that slot. So, and I have a piece of jasper at my house that I've been wanting to do this with for a while, to mill a little slot in the handle and then put a piece of jasper in it.
Yeah.
I just don't want to put too much because it'll make it super
Yeah,
heavy.
you just really got to make it small.
Yeah. But I did that in a class when I learned how to make folding knives. I milled a window out and put copper.
Excuse me, what
Foldies?
did you just call them?
Foldies?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
We don't say that
Yeah.
here. Okay, we don't say folding knives here. We say foldies.
What do you want to get us fucking canceled?
This freaking guy.
What year are you from? Fucking 2004 over here.
Yeah, that's right. Freaking grandpa over here. Freaking boomer over here, dude. This super capitalistic right wing guy with his
That's really funny.
with his
That is-
painted fingernails
that's coded.
and his self-funded canvassing neighborhoods against the government. Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So when it comes to knife makers and metalsmiths, would you say that Bob
Kramer.
was like, do you have any other inspirations besides him? Or
Yeah, a bunch.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all like, I still try to take classes because
Yeah.
I love taking classes.
no, that's really cool actually.
I
That
love
you're
it,
still
dude.
taking classes.
Well,
like,
for several reasons too. One, like outside of the knife making shit, I'm bad at vacations. Like, I'm better at like doing like a working vacation. So like I
Yeah.
can travel somewhere, and like I'm good enough to just I get to eat a new seafood place. Like that's kind of good enough for me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, so when I take classes, I get to do that. I get to feel like I'm on vacation, but I'm like working.
So you travel to go to the classes.
Yeah, well, so there's two main schools. One that I know of, one that are like that I can get to from here.
Sure.
One's outside of Pittsburgh, in a little town called Johnstown, called School for Metal Arts.
Cool.
It's amazing. It is like if you're into making shit at all and you have any interest in making any sort of blacksmithing,
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's a great environment. I go there like once every 2 years, and then there's a place up in an hour north of Portland, Maine, that I was going to. I've been like 3 or 4 times. New England School of Metalwork. But anyway, so the guys that I take classes from are like the dudes, you know,
Yeah.
like this
of today.
yeah, I mean, but even like, so there's a guy that's just a couple years older than me, but he's making knives since he was like 13, named Nick Rossi, and he's a master smith, which is like, you know,
That's
just like being
wild.
it's just like being a master electrician. You have to actually go through a process. And,
He spent the hours.
yeah, well, people have to like judge you. It's not just something you like give yourself. Like it's a sanctioned thing.
Yeah.
But
Do you have to spend so many hours doing
yeah,
it
we have to. So
in addition to passing the test?
you got to pass the test the first time. You have to present 5 different specific types of knives, and then you get judged on them. And then the second test is you got to spend, I think, 2 years, at least 2 years, and then you have to present a different set of 5 that are all made out of Damascus, and they basically have to be just perfection, you know.
Yeah.
But they also have to be forged. Their whole thing is like no stock removal. You have to like know how to forge a knife and all. Anyway, so like Nick Rossi,
And he's 13.
no, so he started making knives when he was 13.
Okay.
My bad,
I was like,
he's only like 2 years older than me, but he's been making knives
okay.
like the vast majority of his life.
Cool.
There are kids though. I swear to God, there's a kid. His name's Tristan something. He pops up on Reddit every once in a while. I follow him obviously on Instagram because I'm a knife maker, but
sure.
Tristan Dare, I want to say, but he's like 22 and he makes these insane, like galactic. He uses like meteorite and stuff. He'll like heat it up with Damascus and make his shit looks fucking crazy, man. It's like stuff that comes out of like like a movie where they found like a 10,000-year-old knife. Like it looks like it should be in Dune or something. You know, like,
Could you mix like mica
What's mica?
Mica is a mineral. Have you ever been to San Francisco?
No.
Okay. Granite.
Yeah.
When you look at granite, you know how there is the like little sparklies in granite? The sparklies are mica.
Oh, okay.
That is the mineral.
Is that where the word for mica comes from? Like a fake? Like a... Who knows?
I don't know. But it's also an edible mineral.
Oh.
So you can get mica powder. And I first discovered it Sayin Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
Shout out. Sayin Coffee Shop, they had their Logan Street location, and they would put mica powder in the cold brew. So then you have this sparkly cold brew, and you're walking around with your sparkly coffee drink.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the heating process would kill it, destroy it, but it sounds kind of interesting to have steel mixed with mica.
It sounds extremely interesting, and I guarantee that information is online. Like, even if you went to the Wikipedia for any mineral, it has all that information.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I just never thought of it before.
No, I've never even crossed my mind.
You're talking about intergalactic knives, and I was like, my mind went to mica.
Yes, I would love to find that. That's a great idea. Dude. Anyway, but as far as people who are inspirational, like, yeah, 100%. Like, that's the thing. Is like, anytime I finish something, I'm like, fuck, this is badass. You know, I get on Instagram 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh yeah, all these guys are just so like. Plus, like, dude, the stuff that I'm doing, the guy that I learned to make foldies from, he's from Montana. Lincoln, Montana, actually, which is where the Unabomber's from. But him and like 4 other dudes in Montana in like the 70s kind of like figured all this shit out. Yeah. Like the modern Damascus patterns that we use. Yeah. Like, it was a small group of people. Dude. And like, it just still blows my mind. Like, they were super competitive with each other, and they were like, because the way it worked back in the day, there's no fucking internet or forum to like go onto. So they were building the machines that they had to use to make this shit. Like, and there was no plans for that, you know. They just did it. Like, they were just I want to do this thing. I'm going to build a machine that I think will work to do this with, and blah, blah, blah. And then once or twice a year, they go to a show, or they get together at like a show, and they all go like, here's what I made. And they're all trying to outdo each other, right? Yeah. But now we just have Instagram.
Without seeing the progress. Without seeing anything. Yeah, you don't know what anyone's going to produce or present. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I'm jealous. I love the connection that we have as humans today with social media. I think it's great. I think it inspires growth, and it's accelerating growth in a way that's like really crazy in some ways, and sometimes I feel like it's also like dumbing down the rest. Sure. Both are true. Sure. You know, it's like you know, there's positives and negatives, but I love the thought of just like when you think about even I was thinking about this the other day with a cooking thing. Like, when you think about like making a roux to thicken your gravy, and it's just like melting butter and throwing flour in the butter and mixing that around, then you make the roux, and then it incorporates with your gravy, and you know, you got like just the creation of things that like are so normal to our lives today. The people who figured it out were like probably the weirdos. It either happened by like an accident 100%. Or it was a dedicated group of weirdos that everybody thought was insane. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Damascus Steel. Right. And it's like, you all said I was crazy, but I knew it.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for being like a weird nerd.
Mica infused knives, if it's possible, dude.
Yeah, I want to look this up and see if this is a thing.
We'll start a study group. We'll be that next group while we're throwing chunks of steel at the wall. Nice. and shotgunning Pacificos.
Hell yeah, dude.
And and we're like, you know, they all hate now. Nobody knows we're there. Everyone's hating now, but one day they'll see.
I love that. I love the idea of someone like coming up to a shop and there's like 2 guys wearing beer helmets, like with a forge roaring, just throwing knives at a big block of wood. Like, honestly, if you rolled up on that and you didn't immediately want to participate, like, I think that's your fault.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be your friend.
Yeah, dude, get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
either do this with us or get out of here.
Yeah, if you're not gonna,
We're doing weird
if you're
shit
not
over
gonna throw on this spare beer hat that we have, if you're not
That I
gonna
happen to
throw,
have.
if you're not gonna throw this spare beer hat that I happen to have and chunk a hunk of steel at the wall, then you can
Yeah,
leave,
get out of here, dude.
sir,
Yeah.
officer.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you, a cop? Hey, yeah, that's a great one. Hey, man, do you want to put on this beer helmet and light stuff on fire and throw stuff at other stuff? And I'm like, if you pause for half a second, this guy's a cop.
Yeah. I love the thought of like being put into the cop car and like I'm handcuffed and I'm like, God, you're such a freaking nerd, dude. I can't believe you didn't want to join us, you dweeb.
Yeah, you could have just hung out and had a good time, but you had to.
Could have just hung out and had a
had to be a
good time.
cop instead.
We weren't doing anything that illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, really. You don't have jurisdiction here.
Yeah, you don't have jurisdiction here. Dude, I ate pancakes for breakfast and I think my blood sugar's high. I have to pee again.
Great. Do what you got to do.
Otherwise, I know that my insulin pump is doing work to fix that behind our backs, so I'm fine otherwise, but I just have to pee again. And then I only have a couple more questions.
Just don't hit the button on your way out.
I won't hit the button on my way back.
And I'm going to tell...
I was like having anxiety. The red light is on, but I couldn't see the timer. So I was like, is it actually recording? Has this all been a waste of time? It wouldn't have been a waste of time.
Of course.
It would have still been a good use of time.
Good hang.
You know.
I killed a man in 1996 with a shovel.
The cool air when you walk into the rest of the house. I don't know if you've noticed. It's
Gets
starting to get a little toasty up here.
Gets a little stale. It's all good.
Yeah,
I've been in much worse.
I know. I had felt, well, it was on my mind with you as well, but it has been on my mind with other people more whenever it's gotten this hot up here. But I was like, dude, this guy's a metalsmith.
Yeah,
like, he is next to this is probably AC for him. Yeah, this is a temperature controlled blacksmithing studio. I worked at a pizza place 15 years ago. It was very small. It would have been before you were here. You probably never experienced it. It was called Popolino's. It was great. It was on Bardstown Road. It was on Baxter, right across from the Quills, where the T-Mobile is. Yep. That was a pizza place. So imagine that tiny little space with a 500-degree oven in it. It's open kitchen. Like, there was no back of house.
Yeah.
It was this little hallway of house. And there was one time, it was like middle of the summer, and this pregnant woman sweating. And she was like, could you guys please turn on the AC? And I was like, it is on. Like, it is on. Yeah. Like, I know it's hot, lady. Yeah. I'm sorry. Like, you'd probably do better outside under the umbrella. Yeah. Like, it feels better with a little fresh air.
There's a heat source in here. Just sorry. Yeah.
500-degree, and like literally I remember, not to give too much details of the story, but I remember like I reached down to the vent
Just
to make sure
it was on.
it was on, and like, yeah, it's blowing cold air. It's just, the 500-degree oven, as she's asking me this, is less than 5 feet away from her.
Right.
But yeah, so I was like, I know it's hot up here, but if anyone can handle it, I know that it's still in.
If it were the middle of summer, I'd probably be like, we got to open a window.
Yeah.
But I'm good.
I'm trying to figure it out. I think I might upgrade this poof thing. They're called dampeners or like a diffuser. I'm maybe gonna upgrade that so that I can keep the AC on and potentially not get that sound, because I've tried, especially like in the winter whenever I was doing this, I had a heater going, and one episode is all it took, and I was like, I can hear it click on, click off, like it's buzzing in the background the entire time.
Yeah, nowadays where they're like, all of us are listening to podcasts all the time, we've gotten accustomed to a certain level of what it should sound like, I guess.
I know.
And so if you hear one where it's like the whole time, you're just like, oh, I'm not listening to this.
That is the one thing that is not on my side, is I don't have a production crew and all of these people doing different jobs to make sure it sounds just on the like recording quality side of things. But I don't care. I really don't. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Fuck it, dude.
Whatever, dude. I'll get better.
Toss it in the fucking bucket.
Yeah, toss it in the fucking bucket. Chuck it at the wall. Dude, I can't wait to see the fucking bucket. What is the most challenging custom request that you've gotten? And after our conversation, I actually kind of want to modify it a little bit, that you've taken on. Because I imagine there's some that you've said, I'm sorry, I just can't.
Well, I get a lot of weird ones, like people, more than you would think, people want custom Damascus like scraping tools, like
interesting,
like paint tools. And I've made a few. They're a huge pain in the ass. And recently, a guy asked, he's a friend of mine actually, he asked me for like a dough, like at a pizza place, those big dough scrapers. They're like 6 inches by 3.5 inches.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I started to make 2 of them, and I fucked both of them up. And I was like, I called him. I was like, I'm giving up on this for a while, because like there's only so much time I can dedicate to screwing shit up.
And sometimes you got to take a break.
Well, that seems like extremely simple. Like, it's just a square or rectangle piece of steel, but like it has
like
to
hand
be
size,
right? But it has to be surface ground, which means it has to be a very specific thickness, and like keeping that shit from warping, and like it's just a kind of a pain in the ass. And you're not really making a knife, you're making a different tool. So again, even though it seems simple, you have to kind of like R&D stuff. But
like, you're scraping across flat surfaces. So if the edge isn't perfect, and then if there's any warp at all, it's not gonna do what it needs to do. It can't
be so hard and brittle that it would chip. It has to be like tough, all that kind of stuff. Which I know how to do all that, but like same time, it just takes you off of your track that you're on.
Totally. This is like a fun thing for somebody else that's not so fun.
I usually bank that stuff for the winter, because like spring through basically November is spent doing craft shows. So like I'm concentrated on making enough stuff that I think will sell at a show.
That makes sense.
But then I bank all that shit for the winter. I just keep a big list, and then in the winter I just go through the list and usually do all that shit because I have more time to screw everything up, and But recently someone asked for they wanted Damascus, but it to look like the Rocky Mountains. Like they want, like when people ask for like really, what's the word, like stuff that's like less interpretive and less kind of psychedelic and more like
it's not
realistic.
Just cool art. It's I want it to look like this mountain range.
I so that shit's difficult. It's possible to do, but it's really difficult. But it's also like not interesting to me. Like even when I was a kid, like if you had 2 paintings and one was abstract and one was a horse, and you told me that was the best horse painting that's ever been made, I still would not care about it. Like I want the abstract painting.
Sounds like a true person. Like I would like to refer back to earlier whenever you well, we were talking about that knife for Adam, and it had the holes in it, and you were like, I came up with that idea on mushrooms. It brings me back to that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I just like stuff that's more like ethereal and less.
Yeah.
I don't know, just stuff that's more like not everyday life, you know? Like,
totally.
Everyday life is the same shit all the time. Like,
Totally.
don't you want something that makes you think a little bit, or like?
Well, and like, I could see, I could see that design being cool, but I think I'm the exact same way where like I don't want something that looks super polished and exactly like
A thing.
the Rocky Mountain landscape. I want mountains.
Yeah.
Give me a Damascus blade that looks like mountains.
Right.
That sounds fire.
Right.
I doesn't what mountain? I don't know. That's for you. That's for God to decide.
Soft fuzzies or hard rock? Yeah.
Yeah.
One time a lady asked me for
Soft fuzzies or rocky.
It's a big deal. Appalachians are the soft fuzzies.
Yeah, dude. The Appalachians
the
are
Rockies are like the hard pointies.
Yeah, they're the hard pointies. 100%.
A lady asked me for what do you call it? Like a sacrificial knife. Which when I first heard that, I was like, "You're gonna sacrifice something?"
So you're
but then she told me it's not what that means. It's like a knife that's not a knife. You know, it's like it looks like a knife, but She was like a witchy kind of tarot kind of
okay,
lady.
so it's like for her meditation board.
Something like that. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. I mean, you're just asking me to make a knife and not sharpen it, basically.
Yeah.
Which it's literally it's 99% of just making a knife.
Yeah, yeah.
But then that got me to thinking about. I mean, this is a little tangential, but like, what if I made a knife and someone did use it for like some fucked up shit? Like, how do I feel about that? Like, how am I implicated in any way? Like,
man, that would have been a great question for you.
But at the end of the day,
I love that it was brought up.
At the end of the day, though, it's like I can't do anything about that. Like, it's out of my hands. Like,
someone, like, there are a million knives are a part of this world.
Yeah, and it's like the world's most oldest tool.
Yeah,
like it's got to be one of them. Maybe a hammer. You know.
I imagine like a hammer. The only difference between a hammer and a knife is grinding.
Right.
You know,
you
keep grinding the edge of that hammer, it's gonna turn into a knife.
That's a good point.
And they might have created a knife on accident just from hitting stuff so much.
That's actually That's actually maybe exactly how it happens. Yeah.
They were like,
my wife's an archaeologist. I feel like I should actually know more of.
Dude, I should have her on.
Yeah.
Seriously, if she's ever down, I'll check back in. But I love archaeology. Yeah. Had I been more just aware of all of the possibilities, like I loved Jurassic Park as a kid. Yeah. If I would have like had any sort of like futuristic thoughts, I probably would have went to school for archaeology.
Well, she didn't start. She started off in like social work, and then did social work for like 2 years, and I think she was like, I can't do this. It's tough. I think that is like one of the most honorable jobs. I want to give myself to something like that, and I don't think that like my own personal mental health, like I don't think it would be healthy for me. Like, but I respect that work so much. Those people should be getting paid a lot more.
Millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the knife makers, one of my muses or influences or whatever, he was a social worker too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Bob?
No, that different guy.
Okay.
This guy's name's Nick Ange, but it's spelled Nick Anger.
The guy that's only 3 years older.
That's Nick Rossi.
Different. Oh, Nick Rossi. Different Nick.
Dang. My two favorite knife makers are both Nicks.
Nice. Nick Rossi and Nick
Anger.
Anger.
Well, technically Ange, but it looks like Anger, so it's hard not to say Anger. You know what I mean?
Totally. I think that we said both is great.
Yeah. But shout out. He was a social worker, and he's huge. He's like 6'7", huge dude. And, you know, he had to like hold people down to the ground, you know, because they're just freaking out and type stuff. And I think eventually he was like, I've had enough of this. And he went to work for a blacksmith, didn't know shit. And then blah, 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 ended up, he is amazing. Like, he makes some of the most amazing Damascus chef knives, like, that exist. But
I can't wait to check out his work. Honestly,
all these guys. Yeah, there's so many guys I could mention that are.
I mean,
dude, the guy. Sorry, the guy.
yeah,
the
no,
guy.
you're fine.
The type of foldies that I make are liner lock folders. Like, there's a bunch of different ways to make like the locking mechanism, right? The
Yes.
ones that I make are liner lock. So when you open it, the inside part of the liner like skips out, and
So then you push it over
right,
to close
exactly.
it.
You push it over to close it. So the guy that invented that is still alive and making knives and has invented.
Really?
Dude, yeah, his name's Scott Walker. He lives in Taos, New Mexico, and he's
Taos
only
is
like
awesome.
60 something, and he's invented like every knife that you've ever
That's
seen with a
so
locking mechanism. He's
crazy.
invented like 80% of them. Like,
That is insane.
It is,
'Cause,
dude.
Like,
Like,
I would have
this-
thought that technology was around forever.
exactly. That's what's crazy about this shit. It's
What?
like it's still pretty new, and like all the guy, a lot of the Damascus patterns. Like if you see the same one over and over again, that guy's probably still alive that invented that, like in the 70s.
That's
Um,
really wild.
It is.
Honestly.
it is super wild. Scott Walker.
Scott Walker.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah.
I have had so many knives.
right.
Like,
Scott Walker probably invented the locking mechanism for it, and I don't think he's really got paid for any of them. He just like made them, put them out into the world, and then everybody was like, "Oh, okay." You know what I mean?
yeah. No,
Like-
I that's the
engineer.
problem with like the capitalistic society,
Well, yeah, one of
As-
them.
we could go on for days
Yeah.
about that, but the inventor of insulin,
Yeah.
artificial insulin for diabetics, sold the patent for like $1
yeah.
or something, and they're like, it was, even at the time, it was not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whether it was a penny or $1, and he sold it because he felt like access to the artificial insulin and like seeing the need for it in humans was a human right, and
Yeah.
like people deserve to have it. And the thing that sucked, like, mad respect
Yeah.
to that guy, but the thing that sucks is that now, just like the knife locking guy, people just take it and then they make $1 million. It's sad.
Yeah, he still did the right thing, but I know what you're saying. Like,
He did the right thing,
What's crazy is, do you know his name?
dude.
No, it's okay, but that's
yeah.
my point though. Is like, what's crazy is we should have been taught that guy's name.
100%.
Like that should have been
Yeah.
that should have been a moral that was instilled in us.
This guy
know.
invented insulin, gave it for $1, and the people stole it and capitalized it. Yeah, but
crazy that
they're
we don't
trying
know his
to
name.
they're trying to indoctrinate people to steal and
Yeah, but-
mass produce
yeah,
money,
exactly.
just like that.
I know Warren Buffett's name and fucking Elon Musk and Bezos and all these dickheads, but I don't know the guy's name that, and like the person that was
Yeah.
insulin is found on like a mold or something. I know that was like one person. I don't know who did that. Like,
Yeah,
it's crazy. That sucks.
Yeah.
But it's by design. If I had to guess, it's all by design.
it is by design, and it's like,
I guess I could also just look that shit up and be curious myself.
I think it's important that everybody be suspicious of the things that you hear.
Yeah.
Don't take everything face value. Don't listen. Like, that's the worst part. We were talking about like the positives of social media a little bit. Like, one of the biggest negatives, in my opinion, is the amount of fake news and AI. AI videos.
You lump them together.
AI videos can suck it. I think that
just-
AI has a place. I mean, like, do I love AI? No. Do I think that there is a way to use it that is acceptable for me? Sure. But the videos, not it.
Yeah.
Not it, dude. I'm tired of the fake AI videos. Like, I don't want to see it. And yeah,
What I've noticed is fake AI videos that are trying to get people to buy stuff from supposedly real people. Mm-hmm. I've noticed a lot of them because I have TikTok, and like It'll be a video of some girl being like, well, people tell me that I'm stupid for making this thing. And then it shows her working. And then they showed the thing. And it's like, oh, that's really nice. And the first time I saw it, I had to be like, wait a second.
Yeah.
That's not real. Like,
dude,
that thing was made somewhere else very cheaply. And definitely does not look like that. Like, the end product does not look like that.
No.
And that is a fake person that they're trying to use to get you to buy this thing.
Dude,
like,
things that I think are really cool.
That shit's fucked.
It's a law in Japan that the advertising has to be 100% accurate to the actual product. So, therefore, if you buy a pack of Oreos in Japan, the picture of an Oreo is the exact same size as what's in the box.
That makes sense.
And I think that should be
international
the amount
law.
of false advertisement that is acceptable in this country is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, our regulatory system is lacking.
Yeah, and I've talked about this before, but like why do the ingredients of individual products keep getting cheaper and more unhealthy for us as the consumers, but the prices keep going up? Like, I guess I don't understand. I think inflation is all bullshit. And the inflation is the rich people. What in my opinion, God, I didn't want to go here, but in my opinion, the inflation is the rich masterminds taking the dollar where we have its value now, and they're like, okay, let's shave a little bit off. And so what they're doing is they're collecting as much of the dollar as they can. We can't steal the whole dollar, but we can slice off a little bit.
That's definitely a thing that's happening. Like the Fed tries to set, the Federal Reserve tries to set inflation at 2%, 2.5% per year. So every year, minimum, this beer goes up 2.5% or whatever. The price of whatever the stuff. So that is literally a thing. It has to for capitalism to work, because you can't have a flat line in capital. You have to have a line that goes up continuously. So if people aren't making more money, you have to at least make it seem like they are artificially making more money by charging more for things. But
it only makes the people at the top feel like they're making more money, and the people at the bottom did not get a 2.5%.
Oh, 100%. It's your money is worth less and less.
It's insane.
It's 100%. It's just it sucks. That's just.
Whenever I think about like the people that were, my neighbor bought his house 30 something years ago for $45,000. It's gorgeous. If you've seen the house across the street that looks like it came out of New Mexico, it is
the modern one.
Yeah, it's a stucco home.
Right.
It is a Frank Lloyd Wright replica.
Oh no shit, that's cool.
Just a replica. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright replica, and not an original, but he paid $45,000 for it. And what's crazy is he recently had the entire exterior redone, all of that stucco, which is probably relevant information. I imagine if I was in the construction industry, it would make sense this way, that we're not in New Mexico. Most houses are not stucco.
Right.
So it's like finding someone who can do it.
Right. Yeah.
Is gonna raise the price, but he paid $47,000. He paid more than he paid for the house. I think. So I don't think he actually paid that much. I don't know how much he paid. That was the first quote that he got. And I think he's like a property manager. Like he manages a lot of different properties for his boss. So he knows a lot of contractors and a lot of like if I ever need somebody to do something and I don't want to pay the big boss, I just want to pay the small guy and not spend as much, like I'm talking to Harrison because he knows a guy.
Yeah.
And I can trust that guy's work. So I don't think he paid that much. Maybe he did. I'm not, whatever. But yeah, $47,000 just to fix the exterior walls. Whenever he paid $45,000, and this is in his same lifetime.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is insane.
Whenever I think about the money that I have saved, which isn't a lot, I'm like, shit. Literally, whenever I am my neighbor's age, that is going to be the price of a cheeseburger.
Oh yeah, right.
What I mean? Like, got a couple $1,000s. So that's how much a fucking cheeseburger at McDonald's is going to cost.
Right.
Don't go to the fancy restaurant to get a cheeseburger because you can't afford it. But McDonald's is now $1,500 for a cheeseburger, and
you can add a shake for $1,000.
Dude, that's a pretty good deal.
I like the scene in Pulp Fiction where he's like, "It better be good for $1,000 shake."
Yeah, $5 shake.
Yeah, in Pulp Fiction.
$5 shake. Yeah, better. And he tasted it and he was like, "It's pretty good, but I don't know if it's worth $5."
Imagine it's $1,000.
Yeah, like imagine being at a place where the shake was only $5.
I don't know if I'd want it if it was in the future.
Yeah, that's your McDonald's shake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the
Dude,
fuck
have you ever had a White Castle milkshake?
No, I've only been to White Castle one time, and I was like, I'm never coming back to this place.
Dude, I honestly, Elizabeth, my partner, she enjoys White Castle occasionally. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like her, every now and then, ooh, I got a craving for White Castle.
Right. I'm like that with Taco Bell.
I love Taco Bell. Yeah. But I despise White Castle.
It's disgusting.
It's like, it tastes okay, but every single time I wake up in the middle of the night and I panic as I race to the bathroom. And then what comes out smells exactly like what went in.
That's exactly why I don't like it.
And I'm like, no.
It smells like a bathroom when you walk in.
Yeah, like, why? Why does this... Why?
I'm not trying to eat bathroom meat.
So here's the thing, is White Castle milkshakes...
Oh, are they good?
They're okay.
Oh, okay.
But if you leave that White Castle milkshake in the cup holder of your vehicle on a hot August day, you come back the next morning, it is the exact same consistency. And I did not believe it. I was told it, and then it happened on accident with one of the times that we were going for Elizabeth's random craving. We got a milkshake. We didn't finish it. We left it in the car, and it was the exact same consistency. Like, could not move the straw through it. And I was like, I don't know what's in here, but I'm never getting one of these again.
That's gross.
I
wonder if it's like pure powdered. Like, you know how they make powdered scrambled eggs?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that, but it's like...
I don't know what it is, but... They'd
probably just keep it in the refrigerator in like a gallon jug, and they just pour it out.
Scoop it.
Yeah.
They probably gotta scoop it because it's so thick. like White Castle is known for the thickness of their shakes, but the thickness doesn't leave when it melts, which is concerning. At the least. Have you ever thought about making a sword?
Yes, and I get asked this question all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Katanas, right?
Their swords are sick. So,
I mean, swords in general, but like, what's your favorite style of sword? What style would you go for?
Dude, so I have a friend who works with my wife who is a huge fucking nerd, like in the best way.
Yeah.
But he is way into like historical swords and knives and shit, like big time. To the point where like when he talks to me about knives and swords, I feel like I'm way behind. I'm like, whoa, I should know like way more about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he just knows so much about like when they were used, why they were used the way they were, why they were made the way they were, like the type of people that used them, how they trained with them. And it makes
there was a respect between the wielder.
Oh yeah.
And like it was like a relationship.
Well, I mean, they were straight up killing people with this stuff. So like, they, you know, nowadays like we're making half the shit people knife makers are making. It's just like because we were just trying to make a buck. You know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, back in the day, it was like, dude, the stories about the Japanese. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not. I choose to believe it because it's hardcore. But back, you know, on a katana, there's that wavy line that goes through it. It's called a hamon, and what that is you put a layer of clay on the top of the sword. And so when you heat treat it, you get it hot, and then you dunk it in the water or whatever they use to cool it down. And what it does is it hardens the edge, which is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
But it keeps the spine soft. That way, when you swing it, it doesn't just snap. Like it's not one big hard.
It gives it flexibility.
Exactly. And
I
so
didn't know that.
The story that I heard was that before they did that, you'd use a sword, you go to hit it, somebody's got armor, and the sword just snaps, right? And then they kill your guy, your swordsmith. So then they would go back to the village, they'd find the sword maker, they'd kill him, they'd kill his whole fucking family and get him out of the gene pool, because that's how the Japanese supposedly were back in the day.
You know, I think about how bad things are today, and then I hear about how bad things were back in the day, and I'm like, you know,
way more violent, way more brutal.
I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that's happening today, but we aren't as brutal as they were back.
I remember the first time my grandma was like, she was a Fox News person, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Do you think video games make people violent?" And I was just like, "No, Grandma. Did violence exist before video games? Like, of course. Like, read a book about how they used to fight. Like, they used to get on hundreds of people, like, on 2 hilltops and just fucking run towards each other with swords and just, like, crush and sword each other to death. Like, we're not nearly as violent.
Could you imagine standing in the middle of a fucking field and everyone you see has an arm cut off or a leg cut off?
Yeah, and they weren't like, God, I wish I could get back to GTA. You know? Yeah, so anyway, like, the sword thing. Like, what I was getting at is, like, swords are a completely different... They're not even comparable to like what I'm doing.
I believe that
they are like I don't have a good metaphor, but like I don't know,
the art, so what I like about swords traditionally, especially when you get into Japanese culture, is that for a very long time, whether or not they were custom, I don't know, but the creation of them from beginning to end was so intentional, and it was created as both art and a tool.
Yeah.
Like it was not only a tool, it was a self-defense item that was intended to kill people.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
And it is beautiful.
Yeah. But then, you know, if you move into, like, Europe, like, there are hundreds and hundreds of different types of swords and, like, long knives and shit. And they all had very specific purposes. And, like, you know, like, you'd give one guy, oh, this guy's, like, 6'5". We're going to give him a very specific type of sword.
Yeah.
This guy is really good at sword play, but he's, like, 5'6". He gets this other very specific type of sword. And they train, you know, like... And they're not training for, like, to go to the Olympics. They're training to fucking kill people.
They're training to not die.
And not die, also, yeah.
To both kill and not die.
That's a good point, because a lot of swords, when you look at, like, the handles and everything that's, like, why the handle is shaped the way it is, and it's all to keep you from getting stabbed.
Each thing makes sense. Yeah. You got those long bars there. It's to catch their blade.
Yeah. And I just learned from my buddy recently that he has this replica German sword that was made specifically... to grab like the actual sword part of it and use it with 2 hands as like almost like just a long knife almost.
Yeah.
Like so you could like.
Or
You know,
even if
so-
it's like to get leverage.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're trying to overpower. It's more about the power.
Yeah. So for me to do swords, I would have to completely switch gears and like get
It's
in.
okay.
No.
The fucking bucket is looking a little
Right.
empty.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I may do it once. There's a guy Peter Johnson. He's this historian, sword maker guy. He teaches classes like once every 4 years.
Yeah.
And I've thought like I should take that class just to take it, you know, because
Yeah.
I think I'd get a lot
Just to
out of
learn.
it.
Yeah. Even if you don't use it, all of it,
Yeah.
I bet there's something that you could use in the knives.
Oh, 100%.
And maybe it
Also,
would
it's
inspire you to do.
It's also just like a vacation.
True.
A work vacation.
It's a work vacation. R&D.
So-
can you write that off on your taxes?
Yes, actually.
You can?
Yeah,
I bet
100%.
you can. I was like
100%.
kind of thinking about it, and I was like, he's 100% entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
He can 100%. I like figured you probably had your finances in order as
Yeah.
far like from a tax standpoint, and I was like, I bet that is actually you can probably bring Elise and write off 50% of her stuff.
Well, yeah, the dinners and stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
dinners and stuff. Exactly. Yeah, that's yeah. You know
dude,
your shit.
Yeah, I looked all that shit up years ago.
Oh, yeah, I
And
bet.
basically everything I learned was like keep track of everything and put
Everything.
everything on your like company, like every tank of gas. I use my truck for work stuff,
Yeah.
so therefore every tank of gas I use I put on the business card and like
Yeah.
and like I felt guilty about that shit at first because I was like, well, I'm just going to the grocery store, and then when you see the news and like you see that like such and such billionaire paid $70 in taxes, and you're like, fuck this.
Do you document it like, you know, trip from Louisville, Kentucky to Louisville, Kentucky, 5 miles.
I keep all receipts and like
You
I
just
put
keep
it-
the receipts.
When I have everything on a business
You don't have to
card.
keep the individual trips.
Well, it all. I feel like the story's told on the receipts.
Okay.
So, you know what
okay.
I mean?
I mean, hey, if it works, if it works, it
Well,
works.
I mean, they haven't
just
audited
didn't
me
know.
yet. You know.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I'm not. Even if they did audit, the thing about I've never been afraid of the IRS because it's like, okay, even if they do audit you, and they're like, you owe this much. Okay, I owe that much. You know what I mean? It's like. When you remember Wesley Snipes, when we were kids, Wesley Snipes got in big trouble for like he owed like 23 million, and he was like, go fuck yourself, and they were like, well, how about 12? And he was like, I can't remember if he went to jail or if he paid half or whatever, but the lesson that taught me is that the IRS will take half of what you owe them.
That's honestly a great
Like,
point.
yeah, and I've had several people be like, they're not just gonna. The IRS doesn't want to just throw you in jail. They want the money. So like,
Yeah, they want the
if
money.
you get audited and you come out on a short, just fucking pay it. Like, or you can even be like, can I pay you half? And they'll be like, well, okay. And then
Yeah.
you can be like, can I do payment plans? And they're
Yeah.
like, okay. So it's like, I don't know. I've never really been afraid of all this. I don't know if we should.
I've been unemployed. I've been unemployed for a couple months now, and I just got paid all of the weeks that I've claimed for unemployment, but my employer is appealing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That sucks.
I don't want to say too much.
That's so good.
But it's really lame. But
Extremely lame.
I have a very like.
What the fuck?
Dude, I have a really, really good feel. Like, I'm going to win.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
it doesn't even make sense because, like, I've been on unemployment. I know how it works. Like, you don't get fired. You get laid off of your job. And
Well,
like,
I got fired.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
terrible.
I got fired. So what they're claiming literally doesn't make any sense. And, I mean, what they're claiming does make sense, but like they didn't, I never received a write-up. It's not that it makes sense. It's a long story.
Sure.
And I don't want to trash talk anybody, as well as I don't want to be trash talked, which is what I kind of feel like they're doing by appealing this claim.
Yeah, I get it.
But if I don't win in the appeal, then I have to pay all the money back.
That sucks.
It does. But I like truly like I don't know. I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I get why they fired me, which we can talk about off camera if we need to. I get why they fired me, but I also think that, like, they're full of shit. You know what I mean? They
Fuck
were
'em.
from the beginning. That's why they needed to fire me, because
Right.
I was like, you're full of shit. And they were like, we don't like people who see us for who we are.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
so you gotta go. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But it's like I got the money finally, and I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, right.
It's like really helpful right now because I am a human with bills,
Yep.
and I've been trying to get a new job. But there is still that little bit of lingering anxiety
trust
of
me.
like, oh, dude, like if I have to pay that money back. But
Yeah.
I just, if I do, I do. Like that's where I'm at with it.
You'll
If
figure it
I
out.
have to pay it back, I'm sure they got a payment plan for it,
Right.
and it helped me right now.
Well,
So
the way the government is right now, you could probably just not pay it back, and there's not enough people to like track you down. From what I understand, that's on you though.
hey, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, I have one last question. For anyone thinking about getting into knife making, metalwork, do you have advice?
Yeah. So this is a little selfish advice, but also big time helpful. For the love of God, try it on your own first. Like, don't just
Jump into a business.
but what I mean is like, don't immediately go to someone like me or just anyone else and be like, hey, can you show me everything? Like when I first started, I told you
Yeah.
earlier, like I bought a bunch of files, I made a fire, threw them in the fire. Like, do a little bit on your own because
Yeah.
like for several reasons. One, you may do it and realize you don't like it.
Yeah.
And that is super important. Like, I know guys in my personal life during COVID who wanted to get into big hobbies, and they spent a lot of money on tools and shit
Oh,
like
yeah.
that, and spent like a fucking month.
And then they're done.
And they were like, I hate this. And it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck did you buy all that shit for? So don't do that. Like, or here's an even better idea: take a class. Like,
Dude, so the kid that I messaged, do you remember me messaging you about
nephew or
that?
something?
It's my cousin's kid.
Okay.
I kind of view him as a nephew because
Yeah.
my cousin is
Yeah.
older than me and he's like nephew age.
Right. But yes.
I don't mean this as any pressure. I told him, like, he was talking about knife creation, and I was like, oh yeah, I got a buddy that makes knives.
Yeah.
And he was like, would he bring me on? And I was like, I doubt it.
That's high pressure for me.
I doubt
Yeah.
it. But like, to him, you know, he was stoked about it. I was like, I'll ask, but like, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm not saying this as like a doubt at all, but I only felt comfortable asking you
Yeah.
because he had already taken 2 knife making classes.
Oh yeah, that's totally different.
He had already taken 2 knife making classes, so I was like, I feel confident in his seriousness
that's a big-
to waste your time.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And also, like, someone like that, if he came in and was like, I have a very specific thing I would like for you to show me or whatever,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah.
But because I've had, this is all is from experience, I've had someone come to me before just straight up, out of
Yeah.
nowhere. He'd never tried it. He thought it looked cool on the internet. And he was like, will you just show me stuff? And I was like, no, I don't, like, I'm working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah,
go
you're
take,
in the way.
yeah, and like I gotta do shit, and like if I take a day to show you how to do stuff, that's an entire day of labor I'm missing out.
100%.
Like, and that sucks. I honestly I wish we lived in a society where I could just be like, sure, dude, and then like I knew that all my bills were gonna get paid for and stuff, but it's just not the reality of it.
Yeah, I even told him to, which again, this is just the truth. It's not, I hope it doesn't come off as like pressure or anything,
okay.
because he hasn't mentioned it to me in a while. But I even told him, because he was like, I was like, you know, it would probably just be learning, not making money. And he was like, what if I only made money off of things that I created?
Like,
And I was
in my shop.
in your shop. And I said, that's a possibility that you would make a portion of the money. I was like, but you're probably going to have to just be there for free for a while. Cause
Yeah.
I was anticipating like you showing him how to do all this stuff and wasting your time.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
like,
cool with someone. I'm cool with like someone like that, like showing them how to do stuff, but then them leaving and doing it somewhere else. You know what I mean?
sure. That's,
Like, and I'm not trying to be
No.
a dick, but like I gotta work. Like I have to make stuff, and like if I need to use the grinder even for like 10 seconds and then go back over here and you're on it,
Yeah.
that's a big problem for me.
100%. I know as a creative dude, I know exactly what you mean. It's like the cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Whenever like I'm in the kitchen and like my cousin was like, "Dude, I'm cooking. You can leave." And it's like, but I'm so used to just doing it all.
So I gave my first class recently.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Kind of like a friend, because I told him, I was like, he wanted to do it, and I was like, look, I'll use you as a guinea pig. Because I don't know if I'm going to be good at teaching. I don't exactly like when you do something a bunch, but then you verbalize it out loud, it changes because you're like, oh wait, I haven't thought about how to actually describe this thing to someone else. Like, I know how to do it because I've done it kinetically.
But teaching is a whole nother skill,
thing. Right? Yeah. So I have to figure out, like, can I even do this? Also, do I have the patience for this? Like, I don't think it was just me, him, one-on-one. I think I could do that, but like, I couldn't do 2 or more people. Like, it's too. I'd get way too worked up and pissed off.
It's a lot to deal with. I thought about it with like stained glass, and it's like
but if someone's
managing all those people,
if someone's coming at it from like I don't have a need for an apprentice, like, because the idea of an apprentice is you show them how to do your stuff, and then they work with you in the shop.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't need that. Also, like,
what if it was just an employee?
I don't have enough business to have an employee.
Fair enough.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm gonna pee one last time while you're doing that. Dang. And then I think my questions are done, and then I'm ready for you.
Okay.
I love that. I just like walked downstairs and I saw my roommate and I was like, "Yo, what up?" And he was like, "Hey," he was like, "You doing an episode?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Nice.
Made me feel cool.
That's cool.
Dude, sorry I've had to pee so much.
It's all good.
We went to brunch this morning. She's been working a ton. I actually paid for it because I finally got the money from unemployment that I might actually have to pay back. But she's been like helping out in some ways, mostly like eating out. She usually covers the bill, and she wanted to get a new nose ring to kind of like reward herself for all the work that she's been doing. And she also wanted pancakes. And I was telling her, dude, they were some of the best pancakes I've ever had.
Where was it?
Foco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. No, that place is awesome. Had the Tres Leches pancakes ages ago. And then they have like some strawberry milk pancakes now. Super delicious. I love them. But as a diabetic, if I make pancakes at home, I know exactly what went into them, and I can anticipate the amount of carbs pretty easily,
right?
Because I made them. It's just a little math,
right?
But like out in public, it was like I was worried that I gave too much insulin.
Oh.
And then it ended up being not nearly enough.
No, it's.
which is fine. It's totally fine. I don't do stuff like that very often. I actually have like really good control under my blood sugars and stuff. Me and my doctor like kind of dance a little bit every time we're in there because he's stoked and I'm stoked about my numbers, you know. Awesome. It's been pretty awesome, but you know, every now and then you got to make a stupid decision.
Yeah. That's how you learn.
I didn't, you know, the thought of like taking too much and then it being dangerously low. It's like the way that I process information and I make decisions is actually affected with low blood sugar.
Oh, really?
High blood sugar.
That makes sense.
High blood sugar, it might be. Like I'm sure that there is an influence, but like it's not as detrimental, and is like there's not as much risk with like things. You know what I mean? But the low blood sugar can just be kind of scary sometimes. So it's like I always kind of try to favor on slightly high over slightly low. But then there are moments like today where I was like worried that I had taken too much and then it just was not enough. Which is totally fine. I just felt the need to say it because I've been peeing so much.
That's all good. One of my best friends growing up, I actually told him I thought he might be diabetic. And then and then that week they went and tested him. He had type 1 diabetes.
No way.
Yeah, so I grew up it's all good.
So were you familiar? Why were you familiar with
I think I just learned about it in health class. And at lunch, he was extremely fucking skinny.
Yeah.
And he would drink like 2 Gatorades, a water, eat a tremendous amount of food, and then keep drinking. And I was like,
and then he never stopped peeing.
He just never. Well, he just kept consuming, and he was so skinny.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I guess at the time I think I just learned about diabetes
in health class.
Yeah, and I was like, man, you sound like these fucking diabetic motherfuckers I just learned about. And they went and tested him, and he had fucking type A diabetes.
That's crazy. Yeah. Like similar situation to me as far as like the consumption. And yeah, I was like losing weight, and I felt terrible. And I told my grandmother, we were on spring break. Every spring break, all of the kids, and I come from a big family. My grandma had 29 grandchildren. And
Jesus.
And I think
like a school.
She just recently passed, but she has like I think anywhere between 36 and 38 great grandchildren.
That's
great grandchildren. Yeah, so there's a lot of people running around. But as a kid, you know, we're operating in that 29 grandchildren, and the majority of, not like a lot of the grandchildren would come during spring break, and we would stay at grandma's house, and it was a blast. Hell yeah. She had a pool, she had a forest, or like not a forest, but woods in the back of her yard.
Did she know everybody's name?
Everyone.
For real?
Yeah. And like amazing, don't get me wrong, there were plenty of times where she'd be like, Josiah, I mean Kyle, I mean Zach.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, Zach. Yeah, that's you. You're Zach. There were plenty of those moments. Yeah. There were plenty of those moments. But no, like honestly, she might be the reason why I'm so good at remembering names.
Yeah.
That or just my large ass family might be why, because like now with like the great grandchildren, I don't think anyone in my family listens to this podcast, but all the time, new kid runs up to me and I'm like, hello, you.
Hey, you little bugger.
Hey, you little bugger. Nice to see you.
You little squirt.
You are my relative, right? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, dude.
Question?
I ain't got nothing left. Did you have anything for me?
I have some random fucking questions.
I love that.
One was, where did all the motherfucking cheese go at?
Damn mouse ate it.
Damn mouse ate it. Do you ever listen to Ween?
I do.
So when I was in high school, I remember reading a Rolling Stone, and they had Pizza Hut had asked them to do a jingle for them, and they made a jingle called "Where Did All the Motherfucking Cheese Go At?" And the whole premise was that like all the cheese in the world disappeared, so it could get put on a Pizza Hut pizza, and they titled it "Where the Motherfucking Cheese Go At?"
Where the motherfucking cheese go at? That's
for
amazing.
fucking 20, 25 years, it's been like one of those things in my head where I don't know what to really say to someone. I'm just like, "Where'd all the motherfucking cheese go at?" Hoping that they'll be like, "Is that a Ween reference?"
Dude, Ween was sick.
Still, dude, I love Ween. I got to see him twice, and it was like one of my favorite concerts ever.
Yeah.
I think they're amazing. Like,
No, they are amazing. Like,
yeah.
I haven't listened to Ween in several years.
I haven't listened to them in a while, but like, they're one of my go-to for sure. Which leads me to my second question.
Okay.
Do you have like, I have like go-to bands when I need to feel a certain way. Do you have stuff like that where you're like, I need to feel this way, or like get out of this feeling, or I just need my like go-to thing? Do you have that?
Yeah. A big one for me is Ceremony.
I don't know if I know Ceremony.
Ceremony is old school hardcore punk band.
Oh, cool. So unexpected. That's cool.
Yeah, they're like, they're fast, they're angry, and they're like, you could get, I think one of their albums is like 13 or 14 songs, and it's like a
2 minutes piece.
It's like an 11-minute album, 12-minute album.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I love that.
And like, what I really like about Ceremony is that they're just so much emotion, but also so poetic.
Yeah.
Like, they're very, very poetic, but they're also, they make like kind of like shoegazy indie music now.
Nice.
They're still making music. Yeah, it does kind of make, I felt like the evolution of, growing up, I felt like their music transition made sense for like.
There's a lot of bands that have done that. Like here in town, I was fans of this band before I ever moved here, but the Young Widows and Coliseum guys.
Yeah.
The brothers.
Yeah.
The Pattersons, I think. Coliseum's fucking pretty hardcore.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Young Widows less, but still pretty tough. And then now they've got like JJL and Photo Crime, which rule and I love very much, but it's way more like subdued. But I feel like that's just like life. You just kind of like, you start off being like, like, I don't fucking know. I just want to make as much of a wake. We just want to make a wake because it shows people like I'm here, motherfucker. I exist, and like making music like that. I made tons of music like that. Like it just shows people. I remember seeing a quote from one of the girls from Sleater-Kinney where she was like, "I just like that I have an amplifier that gets so loud that it sounds like a fucking helicopter."
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome. Like, there are so many times where I just stood behind like a 810 bass cab and just went like, just to do it, like.
Dude, have you ever heard of the band Vows?
No.
I just saw them last night.
Oh, really?
I went to the Palace last night.
Oh.
A guy that I know, super rad dude, his name is Alan, who's a regular at the bar that I was working at. We ran into each other at a funeral of all places. He invited us out to dinner. A couple weeks later, invited me to, I guess, he's kind of like well-connected. I'm still learning about him. I think he was a band manager for certain bands. He's a lawyer. He knows some promoters around town. I got free VIP ticket to Marilyn Manson last night.
Marilyn Manson was... Dude,
Marilyn Manson played at the fucking Palace last night.
I'm like out of touch.
Dude, I am too.
I feel like I'm on the fucking internet all day long too. Like, where is... I don't know how...
You want to know... You want to know where it is? I bet you'll see a flyer for it in 3 days.
Right. Yeah.
Because of the fucking algorithm or whatever. Like, the amount of stuff that I miss. And like, I'll see flyers and I'm like, oh, that sounds like so much fun. And I'm like, oh, it was 3 days ago. And it's genuinely disappointing, and I'm trying to get... But there were people that I met from San Francisco
Oh,
that
cool.
were here
To see that band.
just to see Marilyn Manson.
That's good.
Like, they looked up and they were like, the Palace was the smallest venue on that entire tour.
That's
And they were
cool
like,
way to
I
do
want
it.
to see Marilyn Manson in the most intimate.
Is John 5 still his guitar player? Do you have any idea?
I don't.
His.
I don't have
So
any
I don't know. I haven't listened and kept up with Manson in a long time, but he had a guitar player named Johnny 5, who is an insanely fucking good guitar, like one of the best.
Yeah.
And like he would sit down and just do like chicken picking. I mean, like motherfucker could just play anything.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of those dudes, and I remember seeing that video and it changing my mind about like musicians and art and stuff.
Yeah.
And realizing at a younger age that like that Marilyn Manson is like a product, you know, in a way. I mean that in the best way possible, but like, you know, it's theater. It is. But and then like, you know, the guy behind the drums doesn't necessarily just play Marilyn Manson music.
Exactly.
He plays in fucking 45 other bands.
He's a part of he's a part of a solo act.
Yeah, and he's a musician. It changed
he's a
my
badass
whole perspective
musician.
on
Yeah.
like everything. I was like, oh, you can just like switch gears and put on a face mask and do this.
Yeah.
And then go be in a country band.
Yeah.
And like it's all good and cool.
100%.
yeah.
I don't know if it's the same. I know that I'm pretty sure it was the bass player just
Twiggy.
returned.
Twiggy used to. I can't believe I know this. Like
I can't either, actually.
Twiggy was the bass player. I don't. Again.
He had a really good vibe on the stage.
Nice.
I actually was noticing the bass player
Which is rare.
and was just like, dude's got a vibe.
Nice. That's cool.
Dude's got a vibe. And then a little bit later in the show, Marilyn Manson was like, I just want to point out and welcome back. We got him back.
Awesome.
Whatever his
It
name
had to be
was.
Twiggy.
It
Yeah.
probably was Twiggy.
He was like the old school bass player.
Yeah, and he had like a mohawk. The hair was like mohawk, but then it was all like slicked back and then stringy all in the back.
Nice.
And he looked really cool.
That's badass.
Yeah, and it was just really cool to see. I mean, Marilyn Manson is just like a queer icon.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool to see that production and that performance like so up close. Because I was like not front row, but I was probably 10 feet from the stage, you know, and one of the first shows I've been to where there were seats.
Oh, there were
like
seats?
assigned seats. That's how the Palace is. The Palace
Which one's
is
the Palace? Yeah, it's confusing.
the Palace is on 4th Street.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And it's gorgeous in there.
Yeah.
It would have
I
made
saw David Cross in there, yeah.
nice. It would have made way more sense to have been seeing like a Broadway play.
Right.
With how the setup was.
Yeah.
But I mean, Manson, he put on an amazing show.
That's
His
awesome.
whole team did. But Vows,
Oh,
the
yeah.
band that opened up for him, never heard of them. I had like tried to listen to a couple songs before the show, but you know, life and whatever, you got your playlist. And watching them, like, they created a fan. Like, they were sick, but they were doing a lot of like the vocalist had her like main microphone, but then she had another microphone that she would pull up out of nowhere, and it just had all of these crazy effects.
That's
and
cool.
yeah,
I used to, when I was younger, I
a
used to
lot of
hate
fun.
that shit because I liked bare bones bands, like,
Yeah.
you know, punk bands and shit. Just like,
Oh, yeah.
just hit me with it.
Dude, I
you
can't
know?
believe you don't know Ceremony.
No, it might be one of those bands that I listen to and I'm like, oh, I know this band. But
You probably do.
But yeah, I used to like hate Pomp and Circumstance and Theatrics and stuff, and I've totally switched. Like now I feel the opposite, where I'm like, hey, you guys need to be doing more.
It's like up the punks stuff, you know. As like a kid, like I was kind of a hater on that kind of stuff as well, and I think that's why I'm 33 years old and I live in Louisville, and this was the first time I ever went to the Palace.
Nice, that's crazy.
You know, like, but I'm also disconnected. I don't ever. I did spend a good amount of years not in Louisville,
Yeah,
so that had an effect.
yeah.
But just I see the value in the performance, and like I think having a message and being edgy is still really cool. Like I don't want to lose the message, but adding the performance and
it elevates.
It elevates.
Big time.
It does.
It's a
it
big
does.
time elevator.
And I think one reason why I'm a hater on that is because that's when you get like you're it's like almost like you're appealing to the mass media. Like people like aren't here for the music; they're just here for the show.
Right. Well,
but that's okay.
Well, but a bad band can cover up by doing gimmicky bullshit.
Totally.
Which, not that these bands are doing that, but
no.
I think that was my problem back in the day. It was like the more gimmicky I saw a band, I saw them less serious as a band.
Like, but how's your music though?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but whatever.
No, I
nowadays
agree.
I don't really care.
It's kind of fun to watch.
Also, like, good for anybody that is like who's like in a band professionally. Like, even if you have to be super gimmicky, good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I say that though, but I hate modern country so much that I feel like I believe everything the opposite of that, where it's like you should stop right now doing what you're doing. You're actually causing harm on society. I actually believe that. I think a lot of modern country music is causing like harm to people. Like, it's so bad and so like pandery and like low brow, just like it just fucking sucks so much. Like it's like you're convincing people that this is our baseline. Like our baseline in the 70s, at least our baseline, even if you don't like it, at least it was like fucking whatever you think of as classic rock. Like that's a pretty badass baseline, but now the baseline is like the 5400th song about trucks and it's like, give me a fucking break,
dude.
The
the drummer for Jelly Roll is from Louisville.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's great. I think I actually somehow had that in my head somewhere.
He used to play drums for a band called O Kingdom.
Okay.
It was a like kind of deathcore band here in Louisville. Shout out, homie, if you see this. I hope you're doing well. It looks like you are. Yeah, no, I mean, I watched him grind on the internet, and like he was like doing covers, and like he's a very theatrical, like he's an amazing drummer. He'd be throwing the sticks up, and like having them spin and then he catches them as he's hitting the crash and hitting the, whatever, and he's a beast. And I watched him hustle. Like he was doing that stuff with O Kingdom, and that would have been, I mean, I don't know when they broke up, but I mean, when I saw them, it was at least 14 years ago.
Yeah. Crazy.
And he kept doing it, and now he's drumming for Jelly Roll. And like,
I'm on his side.
Yeah.
Just the drummer.
Yeah.
I'm on his side to be doing drums professionally. I got a fucking friend from back home who's the drummer for Sublime right now. Which
That's
is like,
so cool.
I know, and like I don't really like or listen to Sublime anymore, but like I just like can't believe it. I'm like, this band that I listened to as much as if not more than any other band for like 2 years, and now a friend of mine is the drummer for it. It's just like,
no, that's super cool, dude.
Yeah.
And those are like positions that you don't even realize are a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, super cool. But Ceremony, you should check them out.
100%.
You should check them out.
Okay, so I don't know this weird question. I just have had this idea in my head for a long time about like what the coolest version of death would be, and it would be if like you could travel instantaneously anywhere in the universe, like as a fleck of whatever, like beyond the speed of light. Like you could wormhole your way to any part of our galaxy, anywhere. Yeah, because like there's so fucking much out there, and like we don't even know what's going on in our own solar system, let alone our own galaxy. We barely know what's going on Earth. So I've just to me the perfect, like, if the afterlife existed, you would get to do what you wanted, and what I would want to do is travel place to place in the galaxy and just like see what is going on,
like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even think about it like that, but I guess it is kind of like Rick and Morty without the like Rick. I don't want Rick to be around.
Yeah.
But I need his tech, I guess.
Yeah, we need Rick's tech, but he can stay home.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude. I never even.
We're like Morty and the sister.
Yeah.
Whatever her name is. We're
Samantha.
we're Morty and Samantha stealing Grandpa's equipment and traveling around the universe.
Yeah, but I don't know. Do you have a version of if there's an afterlife of like what would you want to be doing
in the post death?
Yeah,
man,
I know it's a lot. That's my version. It's just
travel
around, which you kind the fact that you just compared it to Rick and Morty, it's like, how did I fucking think of that? They're on adventures. I'm not trying to be on adventures. I'm trying to like just be a tourist.
You're trying to be a tourist.
Yeah,
okay.
but like a museum where you go and there's like you can listen to the thing where it's like this painting, except it's like this species came about. That's what I want. Like I want like an audio tour of the universe.
But from God. God, as in, like, there's speculation on how long humans have been around. Sure. But it's all speculation.
I want the real.
Yeah, this is the real.
I want to explain all the
this
mysteries.
Species on this planet has been around for this long.
Yeah. How does all this work?
Well, that's a super interesting afterlife, because one, while I do believe that there has to be life outside of us, like it's just, but we don't know of it yet. So it's like almost like actual heaven. Like, is it even real? Like, is this gonna be the most boring tour ever?
That's cool though. I mean, dude, if I gotta go look at some weird waterfalls, like,
dude,
3 galaxies over, like, that's tight too, though, because I didn't know that existed before.
And if you're just like flying around looking at like black holes and stuff, like, there's the black hole that.
Can I go in one? Yeah. Can I go inside the black hole? I want to touch the stove.
Dude. It kind of sounds fun to be an experiment. Like, if I was like on my deathbed, I would volunteer to be sucked into a black hole.
Fuck yeah, why not?
Why not?
It's like there's that movie where they go to Mars and they find like they find out there's like alien tech there and they're about to all go back to Earth, and the one guy's like, "No, I think I'm gonna go with this little alien tech dude and just go see what's up."
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah, dude, I think my version of heaven would be in a small cabin in the middle of the woods with beautiful flowers all around me, just fields of gorgeous flowers, vegetables around, and while it's a small cabin and I don't want to see people, the people who are worth meeting, the people who are worth knowing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be surrounded by good company. I want to have access to good company and just beautiful flowers and food.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I could just walk through a field of flowers all day.
I don't know why I thought of this, but when I first started making music independently outside of being in a band, I called it Flowers and Milk, because I thought like a vase of flowers and like an old school vase of like milk just sounded like so nice.
Dude.
And like soft and homey and yeah, Flowers and Milk.
Dude, that honestly, I love all of the imagery that I am like getting from this. Like, it kind of is like inspiring a photo shoot in my head.
Oh, nice.
Because we've been doing, Elizabeth and I have been working with like my cousin and his partner, and like we've been doing a lot of collaborative photo shoots, as well as like doing the photo shoots have been an interest of hers and mine as well, separately. But combining his photography talent with hers and becoming my skill of like set design, like, it's just been super fun. But flowers and milk, I'm just picturing like I've seen milk bath photo shoots.
Nice.
I've seen milk bath photo shoots, but I'm imagining that with a model and then just gorgeous flowers.
Yeah.
Floating in the tub. Yeah.
Milk Bath's not a bad band name either.
Milk Bath is kind of a fire.
All right, last one. Oh, I don't totally know how to ask this either, but when you showed me that cactus little glass,
Yeah.
so like when you make stuff, like do you like to do like whatever comes to mind at the time, like little projects and just move on constantly, or do you have like an anchor of something? Like I like to do weird creative shit outside of making knives and stuff, but the knives is like my anchor.
Yeah.
You know, do you have that, or like how do you feel about all that?
Right now, I would say my anchor is the podcast.
Nice.
It is something that requires probably about the same amount of work that the stained glass, and I've actually got a couple of other really cool projects that I think you'd be interested in that I can tell you about going on right now. But the podcast, one, it combines a lot of loves that I have. It's got the creative, it's got the sociable. I get to spend time with people that I like or people that I want to get to know better. And it also, and I'm not basing my value off of likes on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm basing my value off of how I feel about it and the return of like feeling good about the while it does require a lot of the same amount of effort, I get to see the finished product and I get to enjoy it. Like there's just so many different aspects of it. So I would say that this is kind of my main right now. But I've got the stained glass, and then I mentioned the photography that, we've had a lot of really cool concepts and a lot of really, really cool photo shoots, in my opinion, that I'm very proud of being a part of. But Elizabeth and I, we were talking one day and we're like, how do we even, besides just like finding cool clothes and props and stuff, like how do we level up? And without much effort, kind of came to the conclusion of the only way to level up is by building props and creating outfits. Like if I'm not creating my own outfits and I'm not building props, then like there's no other way to, there's no, like, I could find a badass outfit at Goodwill and that would be dope. But like, what can I physically do to level up? So down in my room, while I have not started yet, I have a couple of designs and ideas in mind that not starting it has been a combination of anxiety of like, oh shit, I don't actually know what I'm doing. So like, I'm like scared to start because I know there's going to be mistakes. And also just time. I've been like the past week and a half is just, there's been a lot going on. So I've still been creative in other ways, but like one of the other projects that I'm working on at the moment, and I'll totally show you before you leave if you want to see it, but I am building a giant 3D strawberry.
Oh, cool.
And it's as long as this table, at least, and the height is probably around here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm taking a bunch of layers of flat cardboard that I cut into kind of a strawberry shape. And I have those layered with some vertical pieces that I glued together, and then I've rolled up cardboard to that size, and I have all of the negative space filled up with rolled up cardboard. You can stand on top of it.
Oh, no shit. Wow.
You can. It is fully weight supporting.
That's cool.
We won't be able to stand on it if we go check it out because the top layer doesn't have the support, all of the supports yet. It's got like maybe 20% of the supports. But whenever I'm finished, I'm going to cover that in cardboard and then paper mache the entirety of the outside to do the strawberry finish. Nice. I'll paper mache it, then I'll paint it. And the goal with that is Elizabeth has this lacy pink dress with these sequins strawberries on it. And then we've recently got this tiny little, it was kind of, we got it because of the inspiration for the shoot, but this tiny little strawberry espresso cup.
Nice.
And then we've got this like deep red purse that she wants to sew gold beads on, like strawberry seeds.
Oh yeah.
So it's like for the goal of for leveling up.
Yeah.
That's leveling up she's sitting on this massive strawberry for this photo shoot that I made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's extremely cool.
Yeah, so it's like I've been really diving in. I like in so many ways I've been spreading myself thin creatively, but also I have the time right now, and it like I don't know if you ever feel this, and I feel like maybe you do a little bit because you said like in the fuck it bucket maybe sometimes you will pull something out and be like, this could still be worked.
That's what it's there for.
This could still be worked. Yeah. Like, this wasn't done. I was done with it, but this isn't done.
Right, 100%.
And I operate in that kind of like, I know you know this, but there's a lot of value in stepping away from your work. Sometimes you don't overwork it, and sometimes because
you're just on the right headspace.
Like in the amount of things that I've like created in my life where I was like I hated it, and then like I didn't even show it to anybody because I didn't like it, and then maybe I'm in the studio showing somebody around and they're like, this is amazing, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, it kind of is amazing. But I hated it.
Right.
I hated it. Yeah. But like I'm like looking at it, it's not from your influence. Yep. It's because like I just had the amount of time that I needed away from it to truly appreciate it. Yeah. So I've got a lot of I would consider this my main right now, but I am heavily involved in learning to sew and strawberry building.
Oh yeah,
right.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And the glass is still there. I'm actually like I've been missing it. I've been neglecting the glass, and I've been missing it a lot lately.
I feel like strawberry glass is probably something.
Oh yeah, I should just make something for the for that photo shoot as well. Big strawberry panel that you can get some like see-through stuff going on too, maybe. But yeah, no, I just I like to have a lot of. I'm ADHD to the max, undiagnosed, but it's hard for me to keep my focus
on one thing at a time.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. I work on like 4 things at once.
Yeah, and like I didn't ask, but I was kind of thinking about that with the knives, because you were like, it takes me about a week, and I wanted to ask like, well, but you're not just working on that 100%. Knife.
Yeah,
and that makes total sense.
And when I make a big batch of Damascus, that's not usually for a knife. I try to get a chef knife, a foldy, and like a paring knife.
Yeah.
And then so I'm working on all 3 of those at the same time. So. And
something that my next episode that's about to come out, actually, he is a metalsmith for rings.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Nice. Great episode. Definitely check it out. I feel like you guys would. We should all get a beer sometime because I think we would all get along really, really well. But he even made the point of like, your time spent away from, like, not actively working on the project is still working on the project. You never dropped it from your mind.
Yeah.
It's still on your mind, and sometimes that space is what you need for it to be what it can be.
Yeah, when I was playing a lot of music, a friend of mine, I was telling him how I wasn't feeling very creative at the time, but I was consuming a lot of music, and he described it as uploading and downloading.
Yeah.
Like, and you know, you're just sucking it all in so that you can spit it all back out.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, that makes a ton of sense now. It made me feel less guilty about not being creative at the time. It's like, it's okay, dude. You're still sucking in like the world, and the world is what you're outputting.
Yeah, you know? It's your influence.
So it's okay. Don't fucking be a weirdo about it.
Yeah.
That's why with the knives, I don't have to do something super creative every time. I can just make a knife.
Yes.
And like have something to sell, have something to get, you know, but also like when I'm ready to be creative, I can do both. So.
And that's the hard part about the creative is that I always want to, I'm going to relate this to cooking. I'm going to relate this to cooking and bartending even. You know, don't try to create a new dish.
Right.
If you're a new cook, and not even if you're a new cook or a new bartender, if you're an experienced bartender, you don't always have to create something revolutionary. If you can't make a good chicken parmesan, or you can't make a good old fashioned,
right,
then what are you doing wasting your time trying to break the wheel?
Right.
You know, like just lock
foundation.
in. Like if you get the foundation, you got to build that foundation. Yeah. And there's a lot of unappreciated value that goes into doing the classics really, really well.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about, I'm sure that that's the same with knives.
Simple things done well has been a motto of mine for quite a while now.
Simple things done well.
Yeah.
I love that. And if you can't create like a tiny little paring knife with like, you know, nothing, you know, but just a really good solid knife, then why are you trying to create something that's artistic and functional? You know, like,
do the simple well first and then go from there.
No, I think that's super rad, man. And
cool. Let's end it there because now I got to piss.
Yeah, I'm done.
Nice.
I'm done. This has been so much fun.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thanks for inviting me over. This is great.
Peace. Anytime.
DrekMetal.com.
DrekMetal.com. It will all be sourced. I will link everything. I promise. Later.